Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
Alright, this is Dan House here, very nice, very evil. You are watching Tru Heel Heat. Probably should have had MJF do this, but here we are.
This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero, and if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Welcome to Tru Heel Heat, the place where we use insider terms because we think we know what the fuck we're talking about, even though we don't. My name's Maxwell Jacob Friedman, and I'm better than you, and you know it.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
Another weekend in the books, and we are here to discuss it all. We got people that are supposed to be cleared, but not cleared yet. We got people who are free agents about to sign with WWE after 20 plus years in the business. We got a lot to discuss, including has WWE won the free agency war of 2024 over AEW with their next potential signing? This is a Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. The OG trio is back together. I'm barely medically cleared, but we're here to discuss it all. Hit the intro. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Romeo's Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 286. Darby falling from the sky. No, free agents, clearances, and Iron Man discussing the latest wrestling news, including WWE looking to win the free agency war of 2024 with a potential signing of the Motor City Machine Guns. We'll also be talking about AEW closing in on their media rights deal that they've been looking for past couple of months. Are they finally close to clearing it all out? We got a recap of this week in wrestling with WWE SmackDown, Raw, NXT, AEW Dynamite 250, as well as Collision, Rampage, NJPW, CMLL, Fantastica Mania USA, as well as the kickstart, the opening of the NJPW G1 Climax 34 tournament and TNA Impact, as well as final predictions for TNA Slammiversary tonight. And the OG trio is back together, y'all. First up, we got, of course, the princess of all the Tru Heels from another 1 week sabbatical, the tribal queen, Miss Krssi Love.
I'm not even in the mood today because I'm still suffering from COVID. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everyone. How is everyone doing? I hope all is well. I go on vacation and I come back with a surprise. So yes. Hi guys, how y'all doing today?
That's kind of like you kind of gotta get like that's a part of like the birthright of going on vacation, that you got to come back with some type of souvenir in the form of sickness.
Sucks ass. I'm telling you right now, it sucks. I'm finally starting to feel like I was dying. I thought I was on like death's corner. I thought Uncle Howdy was coming to get me. I promise you. He was like right there.
The YS6 is gonna pop out of the portal, and they were gonna show up and stuff. And we got also with us our fourth co-host.
Called the fairy.
Who's the fairy? Krssi or JJ?
JJ. I called
Damn.
I love how it's always like the random popping, and then she says whatever she does, and then she just leaves. Like it's like she's definitely the fairy herself. Like she has the powers, and she just goes in and out, and that's it.
She says what she needs to say, and then she leaves. And her choice of fairy is the returning one and only candle maker, a resident Tru Heel alcoholic, and the best rants in professional wrestling media. He is the one and only Top Guy JJ.
I actually kind of love the fairy reference because, once in a while, the fairy comes once in a while, just comes dangling on your TV screens or your monitors or your cell phone devices, whatever you're watching it on. Fairy pops in once in a while. I get some fairy for the month of July. I love it. Absolutely. Let me tell you, I was just hearing Krissi's opening and just hearing, yes, the absolute worst thing to happen to you when you are coming back from having such a great time where you are, to come back, going back to reality, and then reality fucking doubles down on you.
Yo,
it's
like
the fucking worst.
It slaps you in the face.
Because everybody's like, oh, you just came off a vacation. You over there living your best life. I was trying to. And then I came back and I felt like I was going to die. I don't believe you. You just want more time off. You just don't want to go back to work. That's when that bullshit starts to kick in. That's when
they hit you.
Exactly.
Like, what? She's probably still there.
We're glad. We're glad you're back. You're like me, barely medically cleared to be on today's show, but you made medically clearedness. So
trying.
This is
on my best.
This is our SummerSlam. You're playing.
Like I'm just like drinking like I'm just.
She's CM Punk in there right now. She ain't cleared yet.
No, I'm CM Punk. She's Rhea Ripley. She's Rhea Ripley. She's back, but she's not medically cleared to do anything physical.
There you go.
What the hell is wrong with you? Why you CM Punk? What the hell happened to you?
I was also sick. My family, my daughter, my son was sick. My missus is still sick. She has like a pneumonia, I think, because her immune system is just as bad as my son's. But I am barely medically cleared. But I've been on YouTube pretty much every day this week, and I did some.
I thought the air was better across the pond.
Right.
But I had to go. I left my crib. Everybody was sick, but I was not. And then I left the crib on Wednesday, and then Thursday I started feeling sick. So.
Oh no. Your ass was sick on Wednesday. That shit just ain't hit you yet.
I don't think I was. I hope I wasn't. But we will talk more about our health and everything else, and the health of others, as we go through this edition of the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. We appreciate y'all if you're joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. We are here every Saturday or Sunday, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast, where we discuss everything that went down in the week of wrestling. So we appreciate y'all. If this is your first time watching, if you're a usual viewer, you know the deal. What we do here, we're going to talk about everything that went down from WWE, AEW, New Japan, TNA, and everything in between. So we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Remember to show that appreciation back the simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. That is the freest thing you can do. It helps the YouTube algorithms and other professional wrestling fans like yourself see this video. Of course, if you are new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook, you could drop a thumbs up, a heart emoji, an angry emoji, a laughing emoji. However, this week in wrestling made you feel. If you're watching over on Twitter, drop the heart, retweet the video. That helps us out so much as well. But if you're watching on any of those platforms, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you and hear your thoughts on this week in professional wrestling. If you have a hot take, a question, or a thought that you want to have read out on screen, the best way to do that, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're not, go over to YouTube, hit the $sign, and send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It helps out the contributors that you see on screen with us here. And like Jimmy Macaram always says, I have kids, so I appreciate all the support that you can give me and help my kids wear some clothes, and she'll bring in some food that she makes.
I got two teenagers now, so yeah.
There you go. They're getting bigger.
Mr. Vala B hates the UK because he's not even 5 minutes in, he's shitting on the UK, the climate over there.
Damn, just shots fired. We do have Power Driver Finisher in the chat with us here. He says Toby Maguire got bit by a spider, but SP3, it was a goat, a podcasting goat, that is. See, look at that. The natural transition for what you wanted to talk about.
That. See, this is why Tru Heel Heat is the OG. That's what the OG fans here, and you guys are the shit. Because literally right before we went on air, I was like, "Yo, SP, I gotta talk about it. I know it's gonna be a little random, and I know the person above me to my right, I'm gonna nod left. She ain't gonna care about this very much. She ain't gonna care about this any much.
I probably don't even know what you're talking about because I missed a lot of shit. So.
Oh, this ain't got nothing to do with wrestling, but come on, you know.
Oh,
if I'm here like once a month and I get to talk to my people and I get to talk to you guys, most did it like the first clip of this podcast is usually not about wrestling. But I gotta talk about something that dropped last week that might be one of the best projects I have heard in a long time, and that is the death of Slim Shady.
Oh,
that album is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. And we've heard past ones, you know, you've heard Music to Be Murdered by. That was for Selective Crew, right? Selective Crew. You had the Marshall Mathers out, Selective Crew. You had
Marshall Mathers LP two.
Marshall Mathers LP two.
One is a classic. One is in the art museum.
Yeah. So Marshall Mathers 1 and Eminem Show is in a class by themselves. Those two are
that's top tier. That's top tier.
Could not be mentioned with any other Eminem albums. In my opinion, this is the best non-album of those two titles that he has ever created. And the reason being is the conceptual art that he went with on this album. This is an album he foreshadowed to tell you, do not listen to this out of order. Don't listen to this album out of order because this is a conceptual album, and the fucking story is, if you have followed any bit of Eminem's career, this goes back to 2002. This goes back to classic Slim Shady. This goes back to him not giving a fuck. This goes, and people's like, oh, he's trying too hard. No. If y'all haven't heard him in 2002, 2003, those years, he ain't trying. This was just him. This was just him being him. So 2024, this shit was different. And the fact that if you have, because basically the album is in is titled "The Death of Slim Shady." So Slim Shady is kicking off the album, and then it goes into him slowly getting taken away by the human Eminem, Marshall Mathers now. But what's even doper about it is if you heard this album in reverse, it's Eminem being killed by Slim Shady. It is so fucking genius. Like this has been an incredible listen to me, and I don't care what anybody is gonna tell me. This is the album of the year for me, and I haven't said that about
it's been very rare for me to listen to a whole entire album, but I did with this one. I did with this one only because Houdini was the right type of first single. Houdini was very much in the kin of like his first singles. My Name Is, Real Slim Shady, those type of tracks. Without Me, especially because of the Rap Boy in the video. And I actually had the privilege of actually asking one of my interviewees a question about the death of Slim Shady, because if you watch the channel, we interviewed AJ Francis this week, and he, is a rapper himself as well as a professional wrestler, and he talked about the real Slim Shady, the death of Slim Shady album on his Twitter. So I asked him about it, and he said it was the best album he's listened to in about 20 years. And to me, I agree with what JJ said. It's his best album since Eminem Show. I really liked Relapse. I really liked Recovery. I think Recovery is really underrated, and Relapse is really underrated even by him. Those are like the last two great Eminem albums that I can remember. And then everything in between, Kamikaze was all right. Music to be Murdered By was all right, but they weren't on this level. Marshall Mathers LP2 was all right, but they weren't on this level. This is like a very work of art from Eminem, and one of his better albums. Like, I think it's right up there with like Slim Shady LP, of that tier just below the top tier of Eminem Show and Marshall Mathers LP.
Yeah, because I'm re-listening, I'm like, yo, this is top 3 for me, because there's signature songs pretty much on each one of his albums. There's like signature songs. Like there's ones that okay, this was from there, but this one, I ask, if you listen to this, you got to listen to it from the start. Don't skip anything. And then if you have time, if you understand it, because his albums, you got to listen to more than once. You can't just listen to it once and then be like, oh, this is my opinion of it, because that you have missed so many bars. You've missed so many double entendres. You've missed so many references. And if you listen to that shit in the other way, bro, your mind is going to be blown. Your mind is going to be blown on how that story literally rereads itself in musical form. It's fucking crazy. Like, we've heard conceptual albums before, but this is the first time that somebody's done it on a double personality of himself and then reversing it to his other personality. Like, it's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. My man is one of the GOATs of all time, period.
And we'll probably clip this section of the show and then put it on the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment channel. This shout out to our producer Johnny. Happy birthday to him! But you'll have some work. You'll have to clip this and put it on and give it to me so we can put it on the entertainment channel, because this was a good discussion talking about Death of Slim Shady.
Conscience 2 was fucking crazy. The joint with Jid, holy shit. Fuel, bruh, I'm telling
you. Fuel and Bad One is probably my favorite. My favorite 2 tracks from the album.
There's like a run
and Antichrist, because Antichrist is very much a Marshall Mathers LP. Because I was listening to Marshall Mathers LP before this came out.
Antichrist is the first one that had me like, I'm in for a fucking treat. But there's like a 5 to 6 run clip in this album that is unskippable. It's unskippable. Yeah. Oh my man. Thank you, Marshall, for that, because this was fucking legendary.
We also got a comment here from Nikki Boy, just for Miss Krssi Love, because yes, it's the most magical time of the year for us professional wrestling fans. If you woke up this morning like me on like 4 hours sleep, I woke up to watch some G1 Climax 34 action. We're going to be talking about the opening night of action, and man, it has a match that I snuck in like I did last week with Io Sky and Utami Hayashishita. I snuck in one final pick for my matches of the week just from the G1 this morning, because we had a banger with Konosuke Takeshita and Yota Tsuji. Spoiler alert. But we also got here in the chat a super chat donation from our boy Bala B. Thank you so much, Bala B, for the support. He says, paying that Harlem tax. Sup OG crew, sup Krssi, JJ, it's been a while. I'm sure there will be some tribalistic shit about free agency, but I don't care. It's G1 season, baby. Let's fucking go. I'm with you. 5 years later, does it still sound like a porno to you, Krssi Love?
I stand by what I said.
Yo, you know what you should, whenever you should have like a sound clip, right? Whenever you bring up the G1, the beginning hook to Usher's climax song. Like just the beginning hook. You know that super high note that my throat is little. Yes. You hear that
shit? You can't make Krssi laugh too much. Like it's just gonna make her start coughing fits and stuff like that.
Right.
She plays that. If you hear that tune, you know what's coming. Literally.
Jesus, here we go.
I'm learning from Slim.
We got our boy Benno in the chat.
Benno.
Thank you, Benno, for joining us in the chat.
What
he
up,
says,
bro?
"See the gang back together." Indeed. We also got in the chat here our boy Nikki Boy, who says people are worried about the Motor City Machine Guns signing with WWE because they think they're past their prime. I'm worried because I don't want Def Rebel to give them a shitty theme. We're not the same.
Well, I mean,
That, it's understandable to a degree, but for veteran teams to go to the WWE, it's gonna be good for, because they'll be there they'll be there a few years tops. If they go, the most polished, best version of them will be entering the company if this happens.
it has to go on their resume.
And
yeah,
they will know how to deliver great television matches. So there's a certain work that they've done already that they will know how to do, and they will know how to adapt much quicker than the younger Motor City Machine Guns. If this happens, that would be great. That would be great for them, because obviously they're trying to make something of a tag division over there.
I see what they're doing.
Yeah. I'm for it. I'm all. I said it once. I'll say it again. I'm all for people getting their bag, and the Machine Guns have worked too hard to not get their bag.
They've been in the business too long, bro. Like
it has to go.
Is that money?
Yes, it has to be something that they have not done already. They've done everyone else's companies already. Why go? Now they need to go to, I guess this is the peak. This is the top tier. And Paul Levesque knows what he's doing. He's getting ready for Netflix. He's already said what he's trying to do for Netflix and what he's going to do. I see the whole, what he's trying to set up. And he's trying to do something uncensored that no one has ever done. So.
We also got Nikki Boy. He says, they can never make me hate them. I agree with that 100%.
I just love how tapped in the chat was during that comment. I just love how the chat was, they were dialed in. Like
Locked in.
Comment
We
we
have grown a fantastic community here. These I always say the chat is what dictates most of the shows on this channel, and they're always great whatever we talk about here. Chuck Berry says good morning, and with a super chat donation, thank you, Chuck Berry's, or as Jimmy calls him, the Rock of the community, because he's always trying to keep up with Stone Cold Steve Austin, aka Will Chisholm. Chuck Berry saying good morning, ladies and gents. Here's to good health and great wrestling. I agree.
Just know that story ends better for The Rock, by the way. So just keep it up.
There you go. You're right. You're absolutely right. We also got Power Driver Finisher who says, thought you were sick. You were misdiagnosed. I'm dope. You never had this high a dose.
Toby line. Let's go. Yo, y'all on one today. I love it. Love it.
I also agree with
I think even Krssi wouldn't hate this album. I think Krssi wouldn't even hate it.
I'll give it a listen.
Frantic Girl says Eminem's new album is really good, and I listened to Childish Gambino's new album last night, and it was amazing. I wanted to listen to a little bit of that because I'm not a big Childish Gambino fan, but I'm a huge Donald Glover fan because Atlanta is one of the greatest shows of all time. So I'm gonna give that album a listen as well, and maybe when JJ's back here in August, we could talk about that.
I love the see. Y'all ain't gotta wait 3 hours to know when that's gonna happen now. So I'll be back literally in 3 weeks.
There we go.
I'll be back in
there 3 we go.
Weeks, August 10th.
There we go. See, and then we'll talk about the Childish Gambino album then. Nicky Boy with another super chat donation for us. Thank you so much, Negro Buck. He says, meanwhile, I'm patiently waiting for K-Dot's album. I'm sorry. I need to hear that song that started off the Not Like Us video. Yo, that shit was a bop, yo. The video is the best video of the year. Like, if that don't win all the awards at what's left of the MTV VMAs, then they bugging. That's the video of the year. But that intro track, I was like, yo, is Kendrick gonna have a album worth of bops? Like, if he puts Not Like Us on this new album and then that track, come on.
So in reality, right? So we all know that like K-Dot and M are friends. So chances are K-Dot is gonna wait a little while, which means if we get something by holiday or the start of 2025, getting a fresh new K-Dot album with this mindset in 2025, boy.
I think the holidays. I think like an October, November release for K-Dot.
Yeah, holiday.
Yeah.
Everybody their Christmas present. Fresh K-Dot album.
We got also another super chat donation from Belle. Belle's back with us. We appreciate you. It's great seeing you in the chat, Belle. She says, for this week and also last week, because I had to be in the city last Sunday, and that shit ain't cheap. I understand. That shit is impressive. It's expensive. I understand, Belle. I've been seeing the prices out here in the UK. I see what you go through on a daily basis.
Is it high up there? Is it high?
It's not.
If you go into London, it's not.
It's not.
JJ knows.
It's not cheap. It because it's like you are kind of getting a little bit of a better price over there, but the conversion rate, you've already lost everything you're saving.
Oh,
you've already lost everything that you're saving because if the exchange rate isn't the best, if the exchange rate isn't like 85 cents a dollar. Sometimes that shit goes as low as 69 cents a dollar. That shit adds up quickly.
Wow.
Quickly. You just realize how much money you've given to the Matrix if the conversion rate is not at a good spot. Like that's all whenever I went over there, I was like, oh boy, here's the money going to the Matrix. Giving them $2,000 and getting back like 1,500 pounds. I just lost $600 and I haven't taken a step anywhere.
Wow.
So you gotta,
man.
if you are ever going across the pond there, you make sure that conversion rate is money. Like that conversion rate gotta be good.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a good point. Before we get into that news, we will in a bit here. Frantic World with a good comment saying, "Well, I saw Motor City Machine Guns on AEW TV already, so I'm okay with them going to WWE." They checked it off. They did one match in AEW back in 2022. They checked that off their list, and now they can go to WWE. It's totally. I am for this. I'm
here for it, so it's fine.
You know, it's like. Listen, we had very, very similar like love energy when Adam Copeland at 55 years old decided to go to AEW, right? So he's already done everything. He's accomplished everything possible. Both members of the Motor City Machine Guns were world champions. So this is an unchecked box, and I'm all for it. Like, let's go.
And I hope they give them the belts right away.
If they start to NXT, give me them versus Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Axiom and Nathan Frazier, you can tell, grew up watching the Motor City Machine Guns. That would be an absolute banger to start off their WWE run. But we got to shout out all the people supporting us across social media and Tru Heel Heat, the Tru Heels group page over on Facebook. Our top 3 conversation starters to start off our roll call for this week are Joe Bellini at number 3, Patrick Eagle moving up to number 2, and Stewie John Palmer number 1 once again. Our Patreon backers over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. You got Vala B, you got ALW, you got Negro Buck Nick Jackson in the chat, you got Alex McCarthy, Professor Chris, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John, aka Russell Scopes, Kobe, Dolores, John Martin, DJ Eric, James, Allen, and Santo. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. But you know how we do. We're going to start things off with what we missed. And what we missed, you had last night, WWE SmackDown, and it had a more build-up for SummerSlam. The show featured the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, kicking off the show to talk about the Bloodline's beatdown of who he calls his brother, Randy Orton, last week. This led to the former WWE Tag Team Champions, A-Town Down Under, interrupting and Cody fighting them off with the help of undefeated boxer Terrence Crawford, who was in the front row to hand him a steel chair, making a challenge for a tag team main event, but Nick Aldis telling him he had to find a tag team partner after the Bloodline warned anyone who thought about teaming with Rhodes. Of course, it was Bloodline lifelong enemy Kevin Owens who filled the spot to return as his partner to defeat A-Town Down Under in a solid main event. However, things went all wrong for them in the post-match as the Bloodline did, in fact, make them pay. They came down to attack. Cody and KO fought them back, but it was the difference maker, the enforcer, Jacob Fatu, who attacks Owens with multiple hip attacks. He gives him a big flying headbutt before the Bloodline do the Shield triple powerbomb to Cody through the announce table, and then Tama Tonga wraps a steel chair around Owens' neck, slamming him into the ring post to seemingly write him off along with Randy Orton ahead of SummerSlam. The Bloodline standing tall over the undisputed WWE champion for another week in a row. You also had some nice build-up for the WWE Women's Championship matchup coming up at SummerSlam, as we had a heated sit-down interview exchange where Bayley and Nia Jax went at it. Bayley brought up Nia injuring her ahead of SummerSlam 2017 and said that it was due to her being big, clumsy, and reckless. This led to Michin a victory over Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton, with Nia Jax at ringside. After Bayley came down, she took care of Jax, hitting her with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then proceeded to destroy Tiffy's Money in the Bank briefcase, causing Michin to pick up the victory and seemingly set up Tiffy to bring in the Barbie briefcase that we all been talking about since before she won this briefcase. Andrade defeated Carmelo Hayes in in my opinion, the best WWE match I saw this week. This was an awesome sprint with these two guys showing off some really damn good chemistry together. But in the best segment of the night, yes, the Bloodline wasn't in the best segment to me last night. The best segment was LA Knight and Logan Paul going at it on the mic during their contract signing. This was a highly entertaining segment where Logan Paul tried to make fun of LA Knight, and LA Knight brought up all the times he's cooked Logan Paul and told him that his brother has the balls to go up against, but I guess balls are not hereditary, leading to Logan Paul signing the contract for their United States Championship matchup coming up at SummerSlam on August 3rd. Logan tried to attack LA Knight after this, but LA Knight got the better of him to run off the U.S. champion. Any thoughts on last night's SmackDown? What do you think about the Bloodline count, Kevin Owens, and the contract signing with LA Knight and Logan Paul? Krssi Love, what have you been thinking about SmackDown and the build-up to SummerSlam?
Solid build-up for SummerSlam because it's, 2 weeks away, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
So they gotta, this next week is gonna really surplay what's gonna happen because of what we only have 2-3 matches so far. So I'm sure they're going to be adding a whole bunch.
No,
there's
five. There's 5 matches, which
there's
is the
5
Triple
matches?
H minimum, which is usually the Triple H cap. But I hope they add more.
Yeah, I'm about to say since it's SummerSlam, I'm sure they're probably going to add more. But it's just showing me that the Bloodline is not going to win at SummerSlam. This is just it's going to just keep showing me because they keep doing all this stuff now. So if I know they're this faction, they're dominant, yeah, but I know Cody Rhodes is probably going to win at SummerSlam. But good build up so far. Yay.
I don't think Solo Sikoa is ready to win at SummerSlam. So
I mean, I don't think he should win at SummerSlam. I'm happy they're putting him in this position. I'm happy that he's getting this type of role to play, and they felt confident of him to do this. But he's not ready to win. But I'm happy that he's taking these guys and leading them into this next part of the whole story that we're supposed to be seeing.
So off of that, I want to ask you a question, JJ, that I asked Dutch Mantel yesterday, and he kind of gave me the answer I expected, so I don't know if you will as well. But are you more excited to see what Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa can do at SummerSlam, or are you more excited that Roman Reigns can possibly return at SummerSlam?
Oh, that's an easy question right there, Fred.
I mean, it should be for everybody.
Because at this stage, I think the Roman Reigns one is obvious. I think it's obvious, right? I am more dialed in to see the kind of match that Solo Sikoa can have in this bigger moment. That's what I'm looking forward to, because we talked about this literally the last time I was on this show when I was on vacation, and this is the first signature match of Solo Sikoa's career. This is his first major WWE Championship match. He will be in the main event. I am looking forward to seeing how he delivers. Because we know Cody is going to do his thing. Cody is going to bring his work. This is all about Solo Sikoa's evolvement to me. I'm looking solely at Solo. Because this is going to see if the man will sink or if he will swim.
If you can start with the big dogs, bro, if you can deliver this will let us know if you want to be a main event person.
Right. And do we even think Solo has a chance of winning? I don't.
Absolutely not. I don't think there's a chance in hell.
This is his first championship match, period. So no, if anybody thinks he should win that, then that's your opinion, and I think you're a fool for it. But this is his first major moment, and this will be in one of the WWE's big 4. So
that's true.
I am looking for him with all of this buildup, all of the engine behind him. They have basically unloaded their whole fucking production company on him. It's on him to deliver now. Like I'm not looking for a 5-star match. I'm looking for a very, very good match, a very believable one. Like that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for good chemistry. I'm looking for good storytelling in this match. I'm looking for Solo's character to really shine in this match. And if it doesn't, it won't last long. Like this whole tribal chief of his, this him getting the Umafala, to me, put pressure on him. Like I need to see this man deliver at SummerSlam. I need to see that. That's what I'm looking for. So Roman Reigns, of course. I mean, come on. Most of us are probably all gonna lose our shit when we hear that drop. You know, when we hear that drop, shit about to get crazy. But prior to that, I'm looking for Solo. I'm looking at Solo, and I'm watching Solo only.
That is fair. That is fair. We do have a super chat donation from our boy Dion Jenkins. Thank you so much, Dion, for the super chat donation. He says, "What's up, THH fam? Hope everyone is doing well. Watched a full episode of Dynamite for the first time ever. Welcome to the show."
Damn,
he says, "Really
good show to catch."
He said, "Really solid show. We're gonna get into that and the near 60-minute classic that kicked off the show. We'll get into that in a bit. But talking about SmackDown, he said that also that SmackDown is getting repetitive to me. I will say, I said it last week with Josh, and I'll say it here. The good run of SmackDowns ended last week. Last week was a very mid-ass episode. It was very mid. Yeah,
okay. I'm just curious to see it. I'm just curious to know if I gave the same answer that Dutch gave.
That's what I wanted to know. I was like,
yeah. Everyone is Roman. Everyone is more interested in seeing if Roman returns. So, like,
that's not my interest though.
Right.
Yeah, I know your interest is to see what Solo can do, but you also said that you're of course everyone is interested in seeing Roman.
I think that's obvious at this point with everyone. I think obviously everyone's waiting for the return of Roman Reigns.
What did you say, SP?
Somehow Roman doesn't make it.
Oh, it's Roman. I think that Solo Sikoa is playing his character very well, but Solo Sikoa does not work like a main event star yet. His work in the ring is not that of a main event star to me. So I think that this is going to be, you say it's all eyes on Solo. I think really it's going to be all eyes on Cody, if Cody can bring up the person that he's working with. Because Cody has been in there so far during his title reign. He's been in there with AJ Styles, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and Logan Paul, one of the greatest rookies and greatest celebrities turned wrestlers of all time. So, like, he hasn't had anyone that he's had to bring up to his level. This is going to be the sign of what Roman did with Jey Uso, a perennial career tag team wrestler. He brought him up to his level, where Jey Uso is one of the most popular baby faces today, 4 years later. Can Cody do that for Solo Sikoa and bring him up to his level?
That's a lot of pressure, SP. I don't know.
I get the point, but it's two totally different
Scenarios?
like stories for me. Because Roman did this as like this badass, vigorous heel, and he is basically the man already. He's been the man already. So bringing a baby face up and bringing him up and building him and getting him cheers from the people. And Jay is super talented already. Like no one questions Jey Uso's talent. Like his talent is unquestioned. Solo's talent.
No, but the question back in 2020 was, can he be a singles performer? And thanks to Roman bringing him up to his level, he was able to prove that. It's you say it's on Solo. I don't think it's on Solo. I think that Solo is who he is. He has played this role of the insecure, dangerous leader extremely well beyond his years that he's been in the business. It's really on Cody if he can bring Solo up to his level in the ring during the matchup, keep the crowd engaged as a main event of a SummerSlam card that's going to have CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, which I'm more interested in. The Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan storyline, I'm more interested in that. I'm more interested to see Gunther win the world championship. than I am in the actual matchup of Cody versus Solo. Cody versus Solo, like you said, it's obvious that a lot of people are more looking at this as the stage for Roman's return, but can they keep them engaged until that? Because that's not coming at the beginning of the matchup. That's coming 20 minutes into a main event matchup. Roman will return.
But the roles are reversed, though. So Roman is working to build fan bases behind his challengers. That's essentially not what Cody is in line to do right now. His in line is to be the babyface defending his championship against all comers. There's a different dynamic with a babyface holding this championship compared to a heel getting people to cheer for someone that the fans want to take it away from him. So like when last year when Roman and
that's like to say that we haven't seen a babyface champion that's brought guys that were not on the Bret the Hitman Hart, going back into SummerSlam history, Bret the Hitman Hart brought Owen Hart up to his level. Owen Hart was already a great in-ring worker, but he brought him up to his level to be viewed as a main event star. Like we've seen it before. There's been many of main events.
That's not the same.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No,
it's the same scenario. It's the top babyface champion versus the heel. So what? So what if they're brothers? So what?
Story behind it already before you even talk elements.
There is an immediate story with Solo and Cody. It's the whole bloodline. It's just a continuation of the Cody versus bloodline storyline.
And who is heading this story now? They have a new face in there. There's a new face in there. This isn't the same face.
Yes, so that's why I said Cody has to bring him up to his level.
So every championship, every person that has been the champion, the job of the heel's job is to elevate the babyface to want the crowd to take that championship away from him. Cody has lost that element because he is the babyface. He's not there to build the fan base behind Solo Sikoa for the fans to want Solo to take the title from Cody.
He before our eyes, he's getting the fan base is getting basically against Solo Sikoa. He's becoming the top heel in the company before our eyes.
So
because he's attacking the top babyface.
Cody's doing the work already then.
That's what I'm saying. The work is being done in the build-up, but I'm talking about the actual match. The actual match. This is the instance of what a lot of people in the chat, like Bala B, has said before about the Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. We're all into that story, but there is that factor that Bala B noted very eloquently during Rated Raw review this week, that this could be, and then the bell rings. And it could be the same thing with Cody and Solo, that we're into this story on the buildup, that we're getting all this heat for Solo, that we're now viewing him as a main event star. And then the bell rings, and then we're let down because at Money in the Bank, that was not a main event matchup, and it shouldn't have main evented. And maybe that's down to Solo not being ready to be the main event.
I'm kind of one of those and the bell ring people that think that that's what's going to happen on.
And that's what I'm worried about.
Like the buildup is great, but then again, like I said, it's showing me. You keep showing me that he's this big, strong, dominant person. Is just showing me that he has no chance of winning. One and two, you guys just making it seem like he's so strong here that when the time comes, it's not going to deliver.
Let me tell you something. I just wish, like, I just wish that we was able to take our lenses and change this whole story to Cody versus Jacob Fatu, because that would be a
I would have no worries about that. The bell rings with Jacob Fatu.
Exactly. That's what.
But that's also because we already know what Jacob is capable of doing. But that's not how they wrote the story, though. Unfortunately,
Jacob is so skilled. Holy
I know.
Shit, so good.
We know, but I feel like they. He's ready to go, but he can't go yet. If that makes sense.
Yeah. He's not. They haven't pictured him. They haven't illustrated him to be in that scene yet.
Correct.
They have illustrated Solo Sikoa in this scene.
Correct.
And that is where the bell will ring in 2 weeks. And that's why I get the point that
great
Cody
job,
has to
Balabi.
do a lot. Cody's gonna have to do more work. in this match to make.
But that's
Solo
also
look
what
good.
SP is saying.
And look at our boy Beto.
No,
Beto's from the UK, so he don't hold any punches. He says, I'm even lower on Solo. He's a bad promo, a bad actor, a bad in-ring wrestler, and he's even bad at wearing a suit.
I mean, the suits get worse every week. I'm sorry. The suits get worse every fucking week. It's like, I don't, how do we know that this is who you're supposed to be playing? Like, who's the talent? Like, who's production? Who's in hair and makeup and attire? Like, what's happening? Are you picking your own suits? Because if you are, you need to go get someone to help you out. Seriously. Get Seth Rollins person to help tailor your suits. Just saying.
So I think there's a part of what I'm saying is that I agree with both notions.
Right.
But there is an undeniable pressure to me on Solo Sikoa. Like Cody's the man of the company. There's always going to be pressure on him. Cody is the fucking face of the WWE. He's going to always carry the pressure. But don't ignore that Solo has to perform.
Yeah.
I'm
not ignoring that. I'm just saying that I think that Solo is what he is at this point. I don't know. I don't see him miraculously becoming a main event level in-ring worker in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I think that it's on Cody to bring him up to that level.
And if he has to, if you want to keep him in the main event scene through Survivor Series into the Royal Rumble, boy, Cody got a lot of work to do.
He basically, Cody is supposed to be like the Bailey effect. He's supposed to build up the person that you're supposed to be wrestling with. Basically, they're supposed to elevate and say, oh my God, this guy has wrestled in a great match that we never thought we could see from him. That's Cody's job.
Let me tell you, if Cody pulls this off,
right,
his championship run will be undeniable. Championship run will be undeniable.
No, Vala B, I agreed with what you said of in the bell rings for Solo Sikoa. And the way
Vala B was talking about it with Liv and Rhea.
Oh, sorry. Yes. But we were comparing it to. That's what I was meaning. Good job. Because that's exactly her. That story is getting that way as well. Like, it's the story before. Yeah. It's the story.
We'll get to that, but I'm pretty sure we'll get to that. But I'm pretty.
We're about to get into it with Raw.
And I missed most of it, so you guys got to tell me what happened. So yeah, go ahead.
Gotcha. We do have a super chat donation here from our boy Chuck Berries once again. Thank you, Chuck Berries. He says, I like the direction that they are going in the Bayley and versus Queen Nia feud. I think that PTSD has to be getting to Nia by now. I really enjoyed their sit-down interview last night, and you could tell that Bayley's words of calling her clumsy and reckless got to Nia because she's heard it so much throughout her career. Yes, that was great performance by her.
I love that. She literally froze.
Because it's true.
Yeah, and that's the
true words really hurt and it stings, and you're like, fuck, I really did fuck up a lot of people's shit. And then elevate them to be better.
And that's part of what I like with Triple H. Like, there's a part that Triple H said a while ago. This was back when they were doing the WrestleMania build-up. Was blurring those lines between reality and fiction, and that sit down was a perfect example of that.
Because she just had the stuck look like fuck, like
I did fuck a lot of people up,
right? But she can't admit it. She's not gonna admit it, but she's just the facial expression was like.
Like, she just immediately caught flashbacks to her, to fucking all the other chicks that she hurt, herself, fucking Mercedes, fucking breaking Becky's face, like, like reckless, bro.
All of them
killed
damn
people.
Near killed the girl in Saudi.
Yeah.
like her and Charlotte doing shoot punches.
I thought she broke. Was it Violet Calorie or whatever her name is?
Oh, Lyra Valkyria.
Lyra Valkyria.
I love that finish. That might be my favorite finish from a WWE match.
That's who she went against in Saudi, right?
Yeah.
Lyra Valkyria.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yo, she had no give on that squash bomb. She had no give.
Hey,
I literally thought
that's how she should have done it.
I thought she broke like 4 or 5 of her ribs, bro. I was like, there's no way. There's no way her skeleton is the same.
We got Santo, who just hopped on this morning. He says, hope it's all good. I like SmackDown. Can you guys shout out happy birthday to my son Turbo? That's his nickname. He turns 12. Happy 12th birthday, Turbo.
Happy birthday,
Santa.
Turbo. Let's go. I love that name. That's his name.
Yes,
I love
that's
that
the awesome
nickname.
name.
I love that nickname. Let's go, Turbo. Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday. You should Turbo shares a birthday with our very own baby Sup. So he's a good one. He's one of the good eggs. One of those good eggs out there. Appreciate you joining us, Santo, and tell Turbo we said happy birthday for sure. We also got in the chat here Dion Jenkins, who says, I think a face Solo versus gaslighting heel Roman could have been something good. I think that you can't reverse the notion though. Like, they turned Roman babyface by Cody basically complimenting him after WrestleMania. Once it was after WrestleMania and the title reign was over, that Philly crowd on the Raw after Mania was just like, it was like the whole WWE universe, the whole WWE fans just did a sigh of relief. It was like, oh, we can like Roman again. We want Roman.
and this current state is going to be better for Solo.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
Roman is a chameleon. He's a chameleon. He's going to be able to adapt to this. Solo doesn't have to change anything.
No, it's very true. But we got the news that we have to discuss because we've been talking about it early on during this episode. But it seems that the Motor City Machine Guns may be the next big free agent signing for WWE. The Motor City Machine Guns have been free agents since April, as both Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin are currently free agents after their contracts ended with TNA. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Sabin and Shelley are expected to be headed to WWE, according to Talk in the Business. This was also confirmed by Fightful Sean Rossap on Twitter, that many in professional wrestling are expecting the Motor City Machine Guns to sign with WWE. Nothing is official and nothing has been announced as of yet. They have been in talks with both AEW and WWE after their TNA deals expired in April. WWE is believed to have made the better offer, though. The pair, we talked about it last week with Josh, the pair worked a matchup against each other at Prestige Wrestling last Friday in Portland, and they said their goodbyes to the independent scene. Since then, they've been announced, though, for a Smash Wrestling event in Toronto, Ontario on August 18th, where they'll place the Dark Order's Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. So we're still maybe a couple of months, a couple of weeks away from it becoming official that they have signed with WWE. But it seems like everybody, all the big names, Meltzer, Sean Rossap, are saying that is where they are headed. What do you think about the potential of the Motor City Machine Guns going to WWE? And with the Motor City Machine Guns, last week we talked in depth about the whole crazy 24, 48-hour scenario that was Stephanie Becker choosing WWE over AEW. WWE has also added this year Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. We got another name from the Bullet Club that may be joining WWE as well. We'll get into that in a bit here. Has WWE turned the spectrum, and are they now winning the free agency war of 2024 against AEW that had all the early signings of Okada, Mercedes Moné, Ospreay earlier this year? We'll start with you, Krssi Love. First, what do you think about the Machine Guns going to WWE and the possibilities there, and have WWE won the free agency war if they do sign?
I think that's a great move for them. They've checked all of the boxes on their resume, and this is the next stop that they need to go to say, you know, hey, let's do it. And most likely it's something for their families. That check that they probably are going to get was a lot of zeros, dollar signs. Like it works. So listen, they could be there, like JJ said, for a few years, check it off the box, and then they can go. They can be like FTR. We went there, we did this company. Now we can go back and do whatever we want to do. You understand what I'm saying? Like, does this make WWE I don't think so.
Why not?
I still think the bigger names went over to the other side. I think the other side still is winning.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Sometimes, like free agency, I did see an argument. Shout out to, I believe his name is Joel McIntyre, retweeted the question that got it, and that WWE, he feels WWE won because they kind of checked a couple of different boxes of what they needed, whether it be in the women's division, in the tag team division, main event scene, stuff like that.
That makes
JJ,
sense.
we'll go to you.
They want to maybe in that aspect, sure. If you want to break it down into like calibers and different categories, yes. Up, we got Harlem. Hi, Harlem.
What do you want to say to the people? Yes.
My cake.
You ate cake? What type of cake?
Yo, she definitely lives out there, yo, for real. She has a whole accent.
She's picking up an accent, bro.
She has a whole accent. She wasn't born in the Bronx, bro.
Once she says bruv, it's over. Once she says bruv and in it, it's over. I need some cake in it.
In it?
In it? JJ, what about you? What do you think about the Motor City Machine Guns going to WWE? What's the potential that you could see for Sabin and Shelley in the WWE system? And who do you think has won the free agency war so far?
Well, one, Sabin and Shelley, I just looked them up. They're only 41 and 42 years old.
Still young.
In wrestling terms, they're in their prime. In wrestling terms, they're in their prime. So them going there, they won't be like any lesser versions of themselves. They will still be major players wherever they make their like home. And this would be a big win for the WWE because I think them needing to get legitimate tag teams under their belt, that's something that has been sorely needed. Obviously, you know, they've had like big like individual signings. They've had some great women that they've signed over there. And this would be like a good staple tag team that they desperately need.
They
like
need
you know, like DIY needs dance partners. Like, you know, they're going against fucking makeshift people right now. So like,
there's no legit tag teams over there right now, which is so.
No, they actually set up a tag team gauntlet for next week. They got Legado del Fantasma. They got the Street Profits. They got the Gorillas of Destiny in that gauntlet. So they do have some tag teams on. So the
they also brand. I didn't.
Now we're getting to see them.
So it's an added injection of a better tag team division, I'm all for it. And for them personally, like, yo, they've earned the opportunity to be on the biggest stage.
Yes.
And regardless of what anybody thinks, WWE is the biggest stage, bar none, not even
100%.
Right. So if you go there and you get to show your skills, and you probably have been now, you're gonna have fans wonder why haven't they been here like 5, 6, 7 years ago, because they're going to be better than pretty much 90% of the tag teams that's there. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be a great opportunity and good light on them. So if it happens, when it happens, I'm definitely going to be tuned in for that, because I've been a fan of Alex Shelley for a long time. Like I love me some Alex Shelley. Right. Because I always visioned him as like a younger, at the time, he ain't young anymore, but I always visioned him like a younger Chris Jericho. And the fact that his career was going upward pretty much his entire career, outside of a couple of injuries that he suffered. He suffered some injuries that set him back a couple of years, but he still never stopped his upward trajectory. Now, as far as the free agency, I think they both went for two different elements. I think the AEW did the best job because they filled their main event scene. Like, they filled the main event scene. Like, that's the scene that you can take Mercedes, put her anywhere. You can take Will, put him anywhere. You can take Okada, put him anywhere. Those three main event players, to me, automatically wins you a free agent bid. This doesn't take away everything that the WWE has did as far as signings, because what they did is they filled out the meat of their roster.
Mm-hmm.
They filled out everything in between. So they made their
Correct.
show overall better. So they all of that shit in between, when you have 3 hours of Raw and anything outside of Bloodline and championship stories, all of that will be vastly improved because of the talent that they have access to now.
Facts.
So I think that they both did really well in where they needed it. Like, I think WWE needed a better mid-card scene, and that is exactly what they're doing. AEW wanted to strengthen their main event scene and not bring in fucking every ex-WWE person and basically turn them and make them main event players.
Mm-hmm.
They got legitimate main event people, and now they can tool with them however they see fit as best for their story. So I think they both did excellent in what they needed. But if you're gonna if you want to put,
pick a winner,
put it to my head and just say who won, AEW won because they filled out the most important part of their program, is the main event scene. But WWE, this is no slight on what WWE has done. They have done phenomenal with the people that they have signed.
Yeah. They've actually made this more of a debate. Like, after like March, April, it wasn't a debate. AEW won because they got the 3 biggest names that were out there on the market. But WWE has closed that gap significantly. With the signing of Stephanie Becker, and then especially with the Motor City Machine Guns, because both of those acts, this is why I think that it's a little bit closer of a debate than most people might think. And I agree with what Bell is saying, that it might be even more of a tie. That if you can even make the argument that it is a tie with the fact that they wanted, that AEW wanted Stephanie Becker and she chose to go to WWE. AEW, there was reports that they had signed the Motor City Machine Guns. We were all doing fantasy booking of the Motor City Machine Guns in AEW and them facing the Young Bucks at All In for the AEW World Tag Team titles. And now they're going to WWE. They have significantly closed the gap, and they have filled out a lot of different things. Like, Becker and Julia are not going immediately to the main roster. They're going to NXT, which makes NXT more of a hot commodity, as in 2 to 3 months, they'll be on the CW network, getting probably the most viewership that they've ever gotten on television. And then you got, the Motor City Machine Guns, who could also go and start off on NXT, but you could easily put them on a Raw or SmackDown, and they wouldn't be out of place at all. And they could have great matches and be like anchors. You could have them against Balor and McDonough for the World Tag Team titles on Raw, or have that Best of 7 series, like I saw Nikki Boy saying earlier in the chat, with them in DIY, and tear it up and become the best tag team division in the industry, with just those 2 teams having great matches together. There's so many possibilities with the Motor City Machine Guns. Someone like a Jacob Fatu, who in a year probably will be a main eventer for them. Tama Tonga, who has fit his role so well for them. Tonga Loa, I think that's kind of that's subtraction by addition. Sorry.
That Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu is doing so well that Tonga Loa is kind of getting lost in the
sauce.
Like,
yeah.
So I think
and it's the fact that he's botched 2 of his big spots. So.
And and we'll see if he has a chance to redeem himself in the tag team gauntlet, hopefully. So
we're praying. Huh?
What was the second one?
Money in the Bank, when he was supposed to low blow Kevin Owens, and he missed the low blow. He botched the low blow. He hit him in the taint, and then he finally did hit the low blow, and at the same time he punched his brother in the top of his dome. To be fair to him, he did knock the back of his head against the announce table right before that, so maybe that had to do with it. But there's no forgiving the first big spot of when he did his debut, and the referee had to pull himself out of the ring.
He missed the spot.
He Papa Shango. He
missed the spot on his debut.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Never mind.
And so Tama Tonga and Jacob has just been so fucking awesome. So there's levels to this shit, man. And Tama is that dude, and Jacob, Jesus Christ, like there's not a bad word that can be uttered about that man right
Jacob is like the Tasmanian devils. Like he's ready to like explode. He can't contain himself. It's so good.
It's great.
Yeah. And then then once they build up, because I kind of like what they're doing. They're kind of saving. They and hopefully it's them saving this the big match with Jade and Bianca. Like just
I think they're doing that at WrestleMania 41.
Yeah, just saving it.
Because you could just see like the little nugget so far. Yeah,
saving the turn and letting that.
Jade is gonna be the bad guy, the heel.
Yeah,
I feel like
shooting the shot as soon as she's there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're building them up as a tag team. They're trying to establish them as a friendship before they have the eventual turn on one another. Senior Nerd asks, you think WWE will change their name or will they still be the Motor City Machine Guns? WWE has kind of been very adamant. If you make your name somewhere else, they're not going to change your name now. This is a different era. Nick Khan, Triple H, they are more open to that type of stuff. So I have no doubt that there'll be Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, the Motor City Machine Guns.
I hope it stays that way because there's no need again for you to you liked us for a reason. Let us keep doing what we're doing and let us keep our same.
Yeah, I mean they haven't changed pretty much any of these people that has been signing, so that's a sign.
I hope Stephanie let Stephanie be Stephanie. Let Julia be Julia.
Yeah, they've already said that they had her debut at the Mexican live event last weekend, and she was Stephanie Vaquer. So.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I even read somewhere that even when they leave the company, that they'll be allowed to keep their work.
Yeah, we got that in the news this week. We'll get into that very shortly here. But speaking of Tama Tonga Loa, their brother. Hikuleo has been in the news since he left New Japan Pro Wrestling in June, and now he has been officially signed by WWE. According to a new report, as previously reported, Hikuleo finished up with New Japan Pro Wrestling last month, and he was expected to join his brothers Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa in WWE. Fightful Select has confirmed this week with WWE sources that he has now joined the company. There has not been a kind of an indication of what his start date will be for the New Japan alumni. WWE was interested in having him as far back as January of 2023, but Vince McMahon's return to the company that month and then the announcement of a sale to Endeavor caused an unofficial hiring freeze, and Hikuleo re-up with New Japan for 1 year, but now he is heading to WWE, and I mean, it's quite obvious where he's going to be. We got our newest member of the new bloodline, folks. The new bloodline going to be.
I'm about to say we got a fifth member now. Like, no, this is the sixth one?
No, this is the fifth. This would be the fifth one.
Oh my God, they're just stacking up all the Samoan family.
Remember they kicked Jimmy out.
Yeah, but you need 5 for War Games. You need 5 for War Games, so they got their fifth member for War Games here.
That is true.
Damn.
What do you think, JJ, about Hikuleo coming into WWE? This guy is huge. He's like 6'8", 6'9".
Big motherfucker, yeah. Like his appearance there is gonna turn heads. Like Jacob is the enforcer, and that ain't going nowhere. But damn.
Has anyone checked on Drew McIntyre? Is he okay?
Big motherfucker. There's a big motherfucker.
We're getting to that.
And
okay.
And if he is able to translate that persona into the television, shit, War Games, this could be the best War Games ever.
I remember when we met him in person at the Bullet Club block party, and all we could ask him, we didn't even interview him, but we just asked him off camera, like, how tall are you? Like, how is that?
Big motherfucker, bro. Like, geez,
that's one regret. I wish I was at that block party I went to, that WrestleMania.
I look like a fucking little person compared to him.
Everybody makes me look like a little person, but he made me look like a midget. Like,
see, that's when he heard the Slim. He heard the death of Slim Shady. He's not even trying. He's not even trying. He's not even trying.
Nope. We got Hey, he got me. He got me, man. He made me feel very, very, very small. Very, very small. I'm looking forward to Hikuleo. I'm happy for him because he also continues our streak of we interview someone, they signed a big money deal somewhere, and we interviewed Hikuleo in January, and now in July, he signed it with WWE. So the Tru Heel Heat streak continues. But finally, before we get into this week's Monday Night Raw, unfortunately, we're gonna say, this is only for people who can be sensitive enough. This is a sensitive subject, but we gotta talk about the latest in the Janelle Grant versus Vince McMahon lawsuit. Janelle Grant this week has filed a petition for records against a wellness clinic related to her lawsuit against Vince McMahon, WWE, and John Laurinaitis. According to WrestleNomics, Brandon Thurston, and Post Wrestling's John Pollock, go out of your way to follow those guys. They've been doing a great job of keeping up to date with everything going on in this lawsuit. Grant filed a pre-action discovery on Tuesday against Dr. Carlone Clocker and his Peak Wellness Inc. clinic, alleging that she was sent to the Greenwich, Connecticut clinic at Vince McMahon's direction starting in November of 2019 and received treatments that were not disclosed to her. Those treatments allegedly included pills and IV infusions. Grant, who is suing McMahon, WWE, and Laurinaitis over alleged sex trafficking and abuse, says that when she asked Cloaker what the pills she was being given were, he pushed back on the questions and questioned whether she trusted him. She alleges that Cloaker knew about her NDA with McMahon and said that Cloaker routinely treats employees and talents of World Wrestling Entertainment. She also alleges that an employee of Peak Wellness was involved in, quote unquote, in several instances of sexual abuse against Miss Grant by McMahon, as further described in Miss Grant's federal complaint. The petition claims that during several visits, Cloaker prescribed Grant with adrenaline trays and adrenaline supplement trays Adderall trays or Adderall supplement trays that were unmarked and told her to take the pills daily. It alleges that Cloaker did not explain the substances or dosages or purpose of the pills to Miss Grant beyond purposely addressing her symptoms as fatigue. And that when Grant asks about them, specifically which substances were causing her nausea, he said, and I quote, "If you don't trust me, we have a bigger problem." The petition goes on to say Grant is seeking medical records in relation to the sex trafficking lawsuit and alleges that the records provided this far have been incomplete or inaccurate, noting, and I quote, "For example, there are billing records that do not have a corresponding medical record, medical records that do not have a corresponding billing record, inconsistent billing rates, and double charges." Grant said in her lawsuit against McMahon, Laurinaitis, and WWE that McMahon told her to see a celebrity doctor who operated out of an alternative clinic. It's not yet confirmed if Cloaker and Peak Wellness are the doctor and clinic referenced. The sex trafficking lawsuit is currently on hold pending a federal investigation, and a spokesperson for McMahon issued a statement to WrestleNomics, which reads, "Miss Grant's petition for pre-action discovery against Dr. Cloaker is a direct violation of the court order stay, and nothing more than an attempt to generate publicity on her false allegations and to harass people connected to Mr. McMahon, who is being sued by Miss Grant in a separate matter. The facts are that Miss Grant told Mr. McMahon she was fatigued and asked her to recommend a doctor. Miss Grant called Dr. Cloaker and became a patient of his. Her statement in the filing is inconsistent with her prior remarks, and Miss Grant never had anything but good things to say about the doctor when speaking to Mr. McMahon and others about him." Grant's lawyer provided a response to the statement and said, and I quote, "We did not violate a federal stay by filing a state action against a non-defendant." So this is the latest going on in the Vince McMahon Janelle Grant lawsuit. We'll always try to keep you up to date with everything going on here, but this is like, damn, this goes even deeper. You had a doctor prescribing her stuff that was making her nauseous. Like, yeah. This just gets worse and worse the more you find out. And yes, We will be talking about this because no matter how many WWE fans want to think, oh, man, Vince McMahon's gone, this has nothing to do with WWE. I will keep stating the Janelle Grant lawsuit is against Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, and WWE, the company. Just want to state that. I'm just going to emphasize that. Any thoughts? Any comments?
The fuck is there to add to that?
I
What the fuck is there to add to that? Like,
I don't even want to talk. Give any more light to it.
It just
Terrible.
doesn't. It's like it's like a black stain that's just never gonna go away.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally just something that will just be that dark cloud that will just loom and loom and loom, and it ain't going nowhere until this man is not with us anymore.
And even then, this still probably be
and even then,
over this stuff.
Even then, there will still be more shit that comes out, like vile, twisted motherfucker, man. And there's very few times where a person can make an entire fucking podcast relatively speechless.
Right.
and
he has done that multiple times. So trying to form an opinion on this fucking person, it gets harder by the week.
Yes. And to form an opinion on the WWE, because no one's going to deny WWE is hot as hell. They're the biggest wrestling company in the world, but we don't really know how many people knew about all this. Still work in the company. They could say as much as they want. Oh, we got rid of this person. We got rid of that person. Bruce Pritchard still worked there. We know how close he is to Vince McMahon. Nick Khan has been stated in the lawsuit. Stephanie McMahon has been stated in the lawsuit. She's pretty close to the head of creative. Just want to mention that. So
you think?
Yeah, I think
you know.
But deep. we will continue on with the rest of the wrestling news and what we missed. WWE Raw this week from Monday. The show featured Rhea Ripley was back in town. Mommy is home, and she is very upset with Mr. Dominik Mysterio. But Rhea was more concerned with Liv Morgan, who she challenged for the WWE Women's World Championship coming up at SummerSlam, while also ignoring Dominik Mysterio throughout the night, who tried to get her to forgive him. However, Jey Uso was also pursuing Rhea Ripley in all of this, which led to Jey going one-on-one with Dominik after some more interesting interactions with Liv Morgan. And by interesting, I mean this. Who Rhea Ripley ran off at the end, though, after Jey picked up the victory backstage. Rhea Ripley let Dom know that she doesn't belong to Dom, but that he belongs to her. So we'll see who Dominik belongs to as we get to SummerSlam. Speaking of SummerSlam, Gunther talked about the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest, talked down to him for being street trash before Priest picked up his first clean victory as World Heavyweight Champion, an impressive one, beating Braun Strowman. Post-match, Gunther tried to attack Priest, but Priest fought back and actually stood tall against the Ring General. But if you talk about Raw, you got to talk about this horrible authority figure who is Adam Pearce, who asked Drew McIntyre to apologize to referees who have been screwing him over for months. He attacked after Money in the Bank to get his matchup with CM Punk, but Drew refused to do it, leading to his suspension not being lifted. So he pushed down those referees and attempted to attack Pearce, only for Seth freaking Rollins to make the save. In what was many people's favorite part of this week's Monday Night Raw, Eric Rowan cut a fantastic promo about his grief about losing Brody Lee and Bray Wyatt in the latest Wyatt 6 VHS. Later on in the night, Chad Gable called out Bo Dallas to the ring because, guys, I don't know if you know this, but Chad Gable let me know. Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy. Just so everybody is
I
aware.
was trying to figure that shit out since he came.
You know, Chad Gable, thank you. I appreciate you for that. But Bo was attacked by the Creeds. He was attacked by the Creeds with Gable and the Creeds beating down Bo until he told them, "There you are," which led to an awesome Wyatt 6 entrance where it looked like they came out of a freaking portal. It just came out of a portal like each member. That entrance was sick. And they stood tall with Bo Dallas after Gable and the Creeds ran off. Sheamus defeated Bronson Reed in one-on-one action, but post-match was the most interesting note as Pete Dunne turned heel by attacking Reed first and then his former Brawling Brutes partner, Sheamus. And then finally in the main event, it was Ilya Dragunov picking up a win by disqualification over Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn in an Intercontinental Championship main event after Braun Breaker attacked both men to stand tall with the Intercontinental title because he still wants to claim his first title on the main roster. JJ, what do you think about what went down on Monday Night Raw this week? Rhea being back, the challenge to Liv, everything that's been going on with that love triangle at the top of Monday Night Raw. Gunther's promo got a lot of people upset, it seems, but what do you think about everything that went down? Because they felt it was slightly racist for the Austrian telling the Puerto Rican from Brooklyn that you choose to be on the street.
You choose.
No one chooses to be on the street. Yeah.
Oh.
Your parents didn't love you enough to give you an upbringing like I have.
Oh, wow.
Slightly racist.
It was so...
Sounds like Hulk Hogan when he was at the RNC.
So disingenuous.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
Oh, Terrence. No, not Hulk Hogan. Terrence from Florida. Sorry, that's his name.
Yeah,
we don't
exactly.
call him that name anymore because he doesn't.
Terrence,
He doesn't need that name. He doesn't appreciate that name that was given to him. But yeah, sorry. I apologize for going another route. I'm so sorry. Since we're talking about racism. Figure, one race.
Raw had a lot going on this week. Like Raw had this was more of a full episode of Raw. Like this was, a lot of times like Raw, like in that like 9 to 10:30ish is just like so empty.
Mm-hmm.
This shit had kind of shit happening throughout the entire show, pretty much.
Did it now?
Like I loved Drew's defiance, first of all.
Justice for Drew. Justice needs to be done.
Like, what the fuck? Like, these motherfuckers have cost me
everything.
5 championships.
Yeah.
The only one that they didn't cost him was his Money in the Bank briefcase. The only championship they did not cost him because he did that to himself.
No, CM Punk did that. Don't do that. CM Punk is the heel in all of this. Drew McIntyre, my babyface, the best babyface in WWE.
So at the end of the day, that Drew still made a single mistake. He made one mistake. Every other job that has been done to him, the referees have been blind, dumb, stupid, and capitulating against him. So 1,000% Drew, fuck out of here. I'm not apologizing to these pricks. Fuck out of here. Like, get these fucking zebras out of my fucking ring. Talk about apologize to these motherfuckers. I could be up there in championship runs with fucking Randy Orton and John Cena if you motherfuckers haven't screwed me over as many times as y'all have.
Yeah.
Fuck y'all. The anger in Drew's fucking voice during what?
You want me to apologize to a ref?
Out of here. Fuck out of here. Like, y'all lucky I didn't Claymore these motherfuckers on a week in and week out basis. Like, these fucking pricks. Like, you're out of your fucking mind. Oh my God, that was my favorite segment on Raw, period.
Yes, because Drew was justified. Adam Pearce is the worst general. He would be the worst general manager if it wasn't for Christopher Daniels. We'll get into that shortly. But he's the worst general manager in WWE right now because there's a couple of different things. One, he could have done this backstage and not try to embarrass Drew McIntyre.
Fact.
Two, you You had a meeting in your locker, in your office with a murderer. Bo Dallas committed murder when he made his return. They murdered multiple staff members, and you had a meeting with him. You have not suspended him, not fined him. Chad Gable is right, too. He's like, you're not doing anything about this. Yes, Adam Pearce is
Terrible.
the worst.
Terrible.
That's why I like
Fucking
Nick Aldis
terrible.
anyway. You know, at least he takes care of business over on
Fucking
SmackDown
terrible.
side.
And you know what? So after you know that lovely defiance by Drew McIntyre, then then you get to see I'm fucking jealous of fucking Dominik Mysterio. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, yo. The fact that each fucking given week, he gets to
with
get
both
ridden by Liv
ladies.
Morgan. He gets to get ridden by Liv Morgan in some capacity. Oh, this guy is fucking winning. He's fucking winning. And he got mommy's attention being all mad at him and shit and being jealous. Like how are you not winning if you Dominik Mysterio right now? This man is like basically a low-key MVP every week. And then they had a couple of like decent matches on there. Like they had the Sammy and Ilya match that was pretty good. They
just cut that way too short. We only saw seven minutes of it. I felt like Raw, the only thing missing from Raw. I agree with you. There was a lot going on, and the stories were really good. But like I said on the review, the only thing missing was the actual wrestling on a wrestling show.
For a 3-hour show.
And then you got your boy Jay like, yo, what's up with Rhea? She single?
Because I will be that guy and say in the entire Monday Night Raw there was 49 minutes of actual wrestling in a 3-hour show. Meanwhile, AEW's first match on Dynamite was 59 minutes.
60 minutes, yep.
So one match on Dynamite was more wrestling than 3 hours of Monday Night Raw. But everything that went down as far as angles and promos, entertaining as hell.
Man, but it was like it obviously, when you have that, they have a lot of shit going on. Like Raw is very like loaded when going into SummerSlam. Like it feels like most of the stuff is coming from Raw, and they basically just spent most of the night building that shit up. And I'm okay with that. Obviously, you're not gonna fucking sit there and have 2 hours and 11 minutes of segments every week. But this is kind of the season that month to do all the building as possible, because literally SummerSlam's in 2 weeks. So you gotta get some interest going in there. I mean, like I enjoyed the episode of Raw. Like I can't wait to see Braun Breaker get his moment, because that motherfucker's a dog.
They should have fucking done it at Money in the Bank. They should have done it at Money in the Bank.
But he's gonna get his. You know it's coming, and that's the beauty of it, is that it's.
I don't like to wait though, Triple H. You give me blue balls all the time. Like Jesus. Jesus. He's getting his, and that's I'm good with that. And I like the idea of the question mark, because you don't know. Truthfully, you can't pick with an iron fist who's winning between Gunther and fucking Damian Priest.
That's true.
You can't do it.
It's because of Triple H's booking that I can't do it. But the right decision is Gunther winning.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yes.
I agree on that 100%.
Yes. Absolutely.
I'm over Damian Priest and his run. He's done it. You did a great job. Now it's time for someone new.
And that's the thing, is if they think that Damian Priest is still doing a fantastic job, they're not gonna remove the title just yet. They could let him hold it down till Survivor Series or the Royal Rumble. It's I think either way, like if him and Gunther, because that was a really powerful segment for not only for Damian but for Gunther as well. Right. Because this is some good character establishment for Gunther too. Like he's now looking like that privileged fucking white boy that's had this great life, and all of a sudden he's just going to start shaming
We
everybody.
will
that he
only let that
encounters.
slide a few times now. Let's
And it
just
started
let
with
you know
Sammy,
that now.
but it started with Sammy back at WrestleMania because it's like, man, you're not even worth my fucking time. The ring is my fucking sacred ground, and you're just like a peasant in it.
No, the vignette he did, the vignette where he said, "These people dream to be wrestlers. I don't do dreams." Yo, that was
They
awesome.
begged me. This company begged me to come here. So
So what is the drink? What is the drink that you gave me?
Egg,
Catch up this time?
It's egg,
ketchup,
ketchup, and what else?
and
Yes,
milk,
ketchup in
and
it
water.
too. And water.
You want me to drink this? You want me to drink this?
Put a straw on it.
Oh, you forgot a straw? Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you.
And the signature ketchup is in there. The signature.
Oh,
ketchup
dear
is
Lord.
in there.
You know what, though? Hey, we did this on the Marigold preview. Let's see if we could do it again. If anyone sends a $20 super chat, I will take a sip. I will take
Of
a
what?
sip. I'm a
whatever she gave
super
you?
chat. Whatever she's giving me, I will take a sip from the
is-
straw. 'Cause she got me a
And there's
straw.
guaranteed ketchup in there.
Yo,
There's-
she
yeah,
no,
she told
was
me.
it was like
She
2 weeks
wiped
ago.
it.
She had something in there. It was some
See the
nasty.
ketchup on the bottom.
Yes.
Nah, son.
Show everyone.
Yeah, I showed everybody.
She said,
What do you call the drink?
Death.
Oh, put the straw on it.
You put the straw on it? Thank you. You're so sweet. All right.
Called
All right. $20 super chat, and we'll see what goes here. And
Good
yes,
man, Savannah. That is a good
and if we
man.
get more than one $20 super chat, that means I have to take more than one step.
I'm
And
sick and I
listen,
won't even
Yeah,
drink
and-
that.
and- and this man is already getting over being sick.
I'm a glutton for punishment. We do have a super chat donation already here in the chamber from Negro Buck Nick Jackson. He says, "Jay, just like me. You see, mommy tell her I said hi." He hit
I was
Dom and
entertained.
Priest with the Miss Pearly from Friday After Next.
Now, when we get to Dynamite, we'll get to Dynamite. But I was entertained with Raw this week. Like I was thoroughly entertained with Raw this week, and it's for a completely different reason from when we're gonna get to Dynamite eventually. But yeah, this was a good episode of television. I wasn't mad that I actually caught, because I don't catch Raw every week for the show, but catching this one, I was happy I caught this one.
We got another super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries. And he's talking about Carlito, who has been my favorite addition to the Bloodline, to Judgment Day. He has filled the void of R-Truth. R-Truth was the comedy in Judgment Day for a month, and now Carlito is actually getting pops for his comedic timing. He's great. He says Carlito's comedy chops. Chuck Berry says Carlito's comedy chops are so good. He is to Judgment Day as Okada is to the Elite. I wouldn't go that far, because Okada might be the most funniest person in professional wrestling today.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so hot.
And Okada
so
is just being.
That was funny.
We'll get to that. I just love how goofy Okada is being. I just love that he's having fun. I just love how much fun he's having.
Because he's always been so serious, right?
Exactly.
But this one was Carlito this week was when Dom told Rhea that I'm trying to show everybody you belong to me, and Rhea's like, what?
Ooh, that triggered me, and I wasn't even fucking Rhea. I was like, shit.
And then and everybody in the room turned around, was like, oh damn, bro, you messed up. And Rhea walks out, and then Carlito goes to Dom, and he's like, dude, not cool. And you could hear the crowd live. This is a backstage segment, but you could hear the crowd live pop for him saying that's not cool. Like, yeah. It was great. Great, Carly.
Oh man, shit. Yeah. That segment was awesome. Just because when Rhea's reaction was like, what did you just say to me?
Like, nigga, what?
Like, nigga.
Well, we got some news to discuss from Monday Night Raw, as we got to talk about CM Punk during Tuesday's edition of the Wrestling Observer Radio. Dave Meltzer had an update on the pending in-ring return of CM Punk, who is still recovering from a torn triceps injury. Last month, it was rumored that he would be ready for in-ring action at SummerSlam. According to Meltzer, he was told last week that it was quote-unquote probable that Punk would be ready to return for SummerSlam, but it's still not 100% confirmed that he will be cleared to return at the event, which is now just less than 3 weeks away. As noted, WWE announced on Raw this week that Punk will be appearing on next week's edition of Monday Night Raw from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Punk was reportedly spotted at the Performance Center this week as he works towards getting cleared for in-ring action. PW Insider has confirmed with multiple sources that Punk was at the PC on Wednesday working in the ring to get officially cleared. It was reported on Tuesday that Punk is not yet 100% confirmed for SummerSlam. That is why they have been doing what they've been doing with the whole storyline with Drew McIntyre, but it is considered probable that he will be ready for the August 3rd show. WWE has yet to announce Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk for SummerSlam, but that may be because they want to add a certain stipulation or a certain someone to the matchup. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that there are now currently plans for one of the matches at this year's SummerSlam to feature a special guest referee. It's unknown which match it will be for. The only match that will not have a special guest referee will be Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan. That match will likely instead focus on where Dominik Mysterio's allegiance lie, which would likely play into the finish. And then WrestleVotes reported that it has been discussed that Seth Rollins may be the special guest referee for the CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre matchup at SummerSlam, with a lot of people making the natural comparison that this would be akin to the Bret Hart versus Undertaker matchup from SummerSlam 1997 that had Shawn Michaels as a special guest referee. So what do y'all think about Seth Rollins injecting himself into the Punk and McIntyre matchup and being the special guest referee at SummerSlam? Krssi.
Don't he have beef with the other guys? Why he got to insert himself over there?
Well, he's got beef with both guys. Drew beat him for the world championship, and then Punk cost him the world title at Money in the Bank.
True. Okay.
He just naturally doesn't like CM Punk.
Right.
Yeah, that's also true. That's also true.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Come on, man.
Yeah, he can't really wrestle that much. He needs something else to do, right? Okay, got it.
Y'all know this.
Well, he doesn't have a matchup for.
And, there's going to be an element to this match. He going to be cleared for it. Just make the shit like a no disqualification or a street fight or some shit.
Okay.
Once they do that, he don't got to get all technical and have a technical wrestling match and test all of the fucking ropes and the fucking ring mat. He ain't got to take all them fucking like ring bumps. Make it a street fight so they can brawl out in the crowd. They can fucking use weapons and shit and protect them. Protect them by being violent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, that's awesome, Santo. Santo says, just showed Turbo you guys say happy birthday. He got the biggest smile and said thank you. He was excited to hear.
Nice.
Oh, that's awesome. So I hope he enjoys. We'll shout him out probably at the end as well. Santo, thanks for that. That's great to hear. And guys, I still have the drink here, and it might get old the more it sits here. So just
is that
I did.
You know what that means? The ketchup is marinating in it.
So is that milk with ketchup and some other stuff in there?
An egg, apparently.
Oh.
An egg.
I heard. I heard her say egg.
And Chuck Berry says he wants me to double dare him. This is a dare for y'all. This is a dare for y'all that I'm gonna have to be the one that does the challenge.
And it's one of those Rocky eggs too. One of those Rocky movie eggs too. That shit has not an ounce of fucking sizzle on it. That shit is just a straight yolk.
I can imagine the smell. Like it.
All right. The more we talk about it, the more I'm not going to want to do this. BW Insider has an update on another person.
I want to see him take 2 sips of this shit.
On another person who is not yet cleared for SummerSlam, Rhea Ripley. PW Insider reported, because obviously we saw Rhea Ripley back on Raw this week, but she didn't have any physical content on the show. Per the report from PW Insider, Ripley has not yet been fully medically cleared for physical content for WWE. However, it's reportedly expected that she will be cleared to return to the ring in time for SummerSlam. The report also notes that multiple sources indicate that Ripley is not expected to wrestle again until the August event. Additionally, she will not have any physical interactions on WWE programming until she is fully cleared, so it looks like she will be working around the issue for now. Also, PW Insider reports that the initial talk of Ripley returning to WWE storylines, WWE reportedly opted to have her face Morgan at SummerSlam. This decision was made because Ripley voiced that she believed she would be good to go in time for the event. Ripley suffered a shoulder injury earlier in April, and as a result, she was forced to relinquish her title, which was eventually won by Liv Morgan, and she will have a chance to regain her title at SummerSlam. That was made official this week, so I'm looking forward to it, and I believe she will be medically cleared in time for the event.
Yeah,
I think there's been enough time.
Yeah.
And then finally, before we wrap things up from WWE with NXT, in an interview with Chris Van Vliet, Raj Desi, the former JJ's favorite wrestler, Jinder Mahal, spoke about his frustrations with WWE near the end of his run with the company. Jinder, on his WWE release, he says it was frustrating, but that's okay because that's what WWE is. It's time for the next generation. It's time for the Braun Breakers and the Carmelos. It's their time. I had my time. Maybe my time will come back, but it's time right now to step away and do other things. And if it works out in the future, we come back. If not, it's all good. There's plenty of other things to do, starting off the year strong with The Rock, then the title match. Thank you, Tony Khan. He laughs. Then WrestleMania week, I'm in 2-segment match with Tozawa on main event. So obviously there's frustrations, but it's all good. I had many years there. I've done everything that I wanted to do. And yeah, it's a young man's game. On having what he thought was no negative feelings towards WWE. He says there's no hostility or negative feelings with WWE. Very grateful for them with all the years and the platform they provided me. It's amazing. During the WrestleMania week, myself and Indu Sher talked to talent relations, and they were wanting to go back to India. A few months prior, Veer had a religious event that he holds, and it was the 1-year anniversary of his father's death. He got told we were needed for Raw, and he couldn't go back home. Sangha is also from India. He wants to go back home. They were told no, we were needed on Raw. Sure enough, that week we weren't even booked. We were sitting at home, and they were quite frustrated. Also myself. Starting off the year with the Rock, had the WWE Championship match. 1 week later, I'm not even in the Raw Rumble, which I thought was very weird. We talked to talent relations and said, listen, if there's nothing for us, we can go our separate ways. Sure enough, a few months later, we went our separate ways. We didn't ask for our releases. It was just, hey, if there are no plans, we can discuss going our separate ways. My contract I signed for 5 years in April 2019. They added 18 months for injury time, and that was the remaining on my contract. When I signed for the 5 years, I told myself after 5 years, I have to do something else now. I had my mind made up that in 2024, I was going to, at least temporarily, go away from WWE. Desi's 90-day non-compete clause from WWE expired on Thursday, and he was released in April. But then, big news was last night at GCW's So High event, the former Jinder Mahal in GCW, he made a surprise appearance taking out Effie on the show. Raj Desi came out in a mask and attacked Effie from behind, hitting him with the Kalash and then revealing his identity to the crowd in attendance. Hey. Top guy DJ, don't hinder Jinder, you bastard.
I never want to hear that again.
I'm laughing in the background, but I know SP is talking because I see him and he's just like this.
I saw it too. I never
want to hear.
Then I had to help SP out because the wording was wrong. So I was like, okay, let me find the right wording and stuff because our producer's not here.
Ever want to hear normal Jinder Mahal talk again ever in my life.
That's your boy. What do you mean?
Come on.
Him and Kelvin. That's your boy.
Hear it. I don't want to hear anything.
Okay, fine.
That's not the Maharaja. That is whatever his real life government name is. Whoever that was.
Desi.
I don't want to hear it ever again. That ship has sailed for me 100%.
Hey, if it worked for Matt Cardona, it could work for Jinder.
Yeah.
Sure.
But Matt Cardona is just like a whole different level, though.
This is also true.
That was
true.
rough.
But
that was a rough 2 minutes to hear.
Finally, from WWE
Wow.
NXT this week, they did 610,000 viewers, so up from last week. They down from last week because they did 656 last week. The show featured the Rascalz, TNA's own Rascalz, teaming up. Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel teaming up with Wes Lee to defeat Gallus in a fun trios opener, with them picking up the victory that saw TNA's own and our favorite Joe Hendry get his name said, and he appeared at the commentary desk later on in the show. Hendry had his name said again by Gallus, and he showed up again, and he told them that he likes it here in NXT, and he plans on sticking around. We also had the NXT champion Ethan Page defeat Dante Chen. Post-match, Ora Mensa came out and brawled with him and pinned him 1, 2, 3, but with counting himself, proving that he can beat the NXT champion and get himself into title contention. You also had the OC with Michin, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows beating OTM in a 6-person tag team matchup. Thea Hale stepped up as the next challenger for Roxanne Perez's NXT Women's Championship after Roxanne called out the fans for praising Julia and Stephanie Vaquer before they even got here. But Thea Hale stood tall, putting the armbar, the Kimura on Roxanne before being pulled off by Rich Holland. And then in the main event, it was Oba Femi picking up a victory over Chase Hughes, Duke Hudson, to retain the NXT North American Championship in a good old hoss fight between the two men. So another pretty good episode from the NXT brand, but you also had some NXT news as their next premium live events were announced this week. WWE has announced 2 more premium live events for the fall. With September, we're going to see No Mercy and Halloween Havoc.
The old names.
Damn.
Yep.
Bad
And
Blood,
Halloween
No
Havoc
Mercy.
in October. No Mercy happens on September 1st at the Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado, while Halloween Havoc happens on October 27th at the Giant Arena, a Giant Center in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So the next 2 NXT events have been announced. New NXT talent that might be showing up very soon, and we're going back to the Ala Samoa or Tonga as the Tonga Twins. The former Women's of Wrestling Tag Team Champions visited the WWE Performance Center this week. Taya Tonga shared a photo on her X account where she said, Chi-Hu, hashtag Tonga, hashtag Samoan, hashtag Tonga Usos, hashtag Tribal, hashtag Queens, hashtag Tonga Twins. The third person in the photo is Leia Tua later retweeted a photo saying how the 3 would make a great wrestling trio. It's unknown if the Tonga Twins have signed with WWE. They exited WOW, a Women of Wrestling, earlier in May. And then finally, like JJ was mentioning earlier, teasing earlier, WWE has a nice little policy change as of late, as a couple of new reports are shooting down a rumor that was floating around about WWE allowing ring talents to keep their ring names after leaving the company. The rumor had been making its rounds on social media, but both Fightful Select and PW Insider have shot down the news. The confusion apparently came out of a conversation about Ethan Page's name being trademarked, during which the notion spread that WWE was allowing talent to use their ring names after they exited. However, both sites, PW Insider and Fightful Select, have reported that isn't the case. Some talent have been able to use their names, but those cases where WWE did not have the ability to prevent them from doing so because they had ownership of the name they licensed WWE to use. Chris Jericho, Adam Cole, Tony Storm, Mustafa Ali, Sting, CM Punk, and the like are examples of people where that has been the case. Obviously, WWE cannot prevent talent who use their real names from using them outside the company. And Ryback and Ultimate Warrior both famously changed their legal names to use their ring names in attempts to use that as a loophole. Talent like Grand Metalik, who is now known as Metalik, are still able to use that name, but he cannot use Grand Metalik. And a talent like Seth Rollins would not be able to use that name should he theoretically leave WWE at some point. This is why Dolph Ziggler, for example, is using his real name of Nick Nemeth. Raj Desi cannot use Jinder Mahal, and AJ Francis cannot use Top Dollar anymore. So if there's any confusion, if WWE gives you your ring name, you can't use it. If you had a ring name before WWE and you license it out, you can use it again.
Okay, so basically what they're saying is make sure you have an established name before your ass get here. Got it.
Pretty much. Yeah. And we'll make money off of it, basically. That's what they're saying. But
right.
We'll make money off of it. That's all.
Sounds like the business move. Sounds like the slick business move.
It's WWE. If you don't expect WWE to do slick business moves, then you're watching the wrong company.
You have never paid attention to WWE.
Facts, big time facts. But let's go over to the Converse and talk about AEW Dynamite 250 this week, which was a very noteworthy show from Tony Khan's company and a huge ratings draw. They got back to April numbers, folks. They did 795,000 viewers. The big viewership came from their opening matchup, which it's very rare that AEW's first segment of the show drives through until the top of the hour. No, this is they were at like 680 consistently over the last couple of weeks. This is a big jump up, 100,000 viewers. They need to follow up with that, which they kind of are with Blood and Guts next week. But I think this can become a trend if they did better with building up Blood and Guts, but we'll get into that. The show featured MJF defeating Will Ospreay in a near 60-minute instant classic to win the AEW International Championship, of course, thanks to the Dynamite Diamond Ring in what was a 59-minute and 58-second masterpiece between these two men, showcasing their wrestling ability. Some people really love it. Some people even really dislike it, apparently, but we'll get into that as we talk about our thoughts on AEW Dynamite 250. Meanwhile, you had the follow-up to Mariah May's heel turn on Timeless Toni Storm, where she explained why she pulled the trigger on her betrayal. Coming out dressed as Timeless Toni herself, which I think had a lot of the live fans confused. I think a lot of the live fans did not realize that this was Mariah May until she started talking.
That was me, because I had another shot of medicine, and I was like, wait, am I delirious or sick, or am I seeing right? Because I could have swore that was Toni Storm, but then I heard her talk, and I was like, oh no, that's Mariah May. But then I fell back to sleep because I don't know what the fuck happened, because I was sick and I just was like dead, right? I was in another episode.
Minoru Suzuki made his return to AEW to confront Chris Jericho on TV time with the Learning Tree ahead of their FTW Championship bout next week on Dynamite Blood and Guts. You also had Mercedes Moné. She beat Nyla Rose to retain the TBS Championship. Post-match, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, dressed as a fan in a Sting mask, pushed Mercedes down before security separated the both of them. You had the Acclaimed, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. They officially joined Team AEW for Blood and Guts. This led to a preview of Blood and Guts as you had the team captains of Swerve Strickland and Kazuchika Okada go at it in the main event. Swerve got the win via disqualification after interference from our EVPs, the Young Bucks. This led to a huge brawl with all the participants in Blood and Guts. Even got a tease of a Hangman and Swerve stare down. I like that they didn't give it to us and they're saving it for the actual Blood and Guts, but it led to the bigger finale of instead we got the final member of Team AEW revealed as Darby came down from the Raptors like he was his daddy Sting to join Team AEW against the Elite to close the show, as he will be the final member of the team for Blood and Guts next Wednesday on Dynamite. But obviously, all the talk of this week's Dynamite is centered on Will Ospreay versus MJF. I will start with you, Miss Krssi Love. What did you think about these two guys going a near hour, the finish of the matchup, and just what do you think about it? We asked the question on AE Ramble. I actually hear, what do you think this match ranks as far as all-time best Dynamite matches?
This is like top Dynamite match. This match reminded me of when we went to Grand Slam JJ and we saw
Omega and Danielson. Yep.
It gave me the same amount of feeling. It gave me the same goosebumps. I was like, they just went longer. Because what were they the
Mega
same?
and Danielson was 30 minutes.
They went 30.
They only went 30 minutes. We was like, why didn't they go longer? We were upset because we was like, they could have went longer. And these guys surpassed that and went almost an hour. Finish was a little, but overall, great.
I love the finish because it shocked me. I legitimately 30 minutes in was like, oh, they're going to a 60-minute time limit draw to set up All In.
Right. I thought the finish was messed up. I thought the finish was messed up because they counted wrong. Again, I was delirious at that point and had a lot of medicine. So I was like not sure how the ending really played out. But I was like,
I really like how the finish was shot because you did not see MJF put the ring on. It made it
that's
look
what I'm
like
saying. Right.
He just lost through a right hand punch. But I was like, it's MJF. He obviously had on the Dynamite Diamond Ring. And then they did the camera shot of the Dynamite Diamond Ring on the side.
Yes.
That was perfect. The only part of the finish I didn't like is Will's pantomiming about using the Tiger Driver in 97. You should not be confused about using the Tiger Driver on MJF. This is the finish that they should have done for him and Swerve, where it made sense that he didn't want to do the Tiger Driver to Swerve, his friend. But to MJF, who just tried to murder Daniel Garcia, you should have dropped him right on his fucking head.
Exactly. I agree on that part, SB, for sure. But overall, great. I mean, top number one, because the other one was number two, which was number one for me was Omega and Danielson. So, I mean, yeah. We were there live for that one.
To answer my own question, I put it number 3 on AE Ramble. I said I still prefer Omega Danielson and Danielson Hangman's 60-minute time limit draw over this one because I felt like those had more of like a fluid story. This was like a story of like 3 halves. There was like the early portion where we were seeing that MJF could keep up move for move and had scouted Will Ospreay very well. The second half was a lot of like no DQ style with the brawl into the crowd, the little girl getting involved and punching MJF as MJF's getting punched by Will Ospreay and he's doing the Vince McMahon shaky middle finger. That was great.
Flipped her off.
The build to the table spot, and then the last half where they were just busting out every big move. And one of the best camera shots in AEW history is that Tope Suicida hidden blade by Ospreay as MJF's like, I'm smarter than him, and he just gets hit with the hidden blade and Will almost jumps out of your TV screen. That was shot perfectly by AEW. But JJ, where does it rank for you as far as all-time Dynamite matches?
To me, it was number 2. I preferred that one. I enjoyed that one a little bit more than the Danielson and Hangman match, just because I had no idea this type of match was happening. Like, I think just because of the sheer like surprise of, as you said, like after the second break, I was like, oh, they're gonna go to the top of the hour with this. They're really gonna go to the top of the hour with this. Holy shit. And I think just like signature spots really just hit me and were like how impressive MJF was. Like it's like people might critique him for not wrestling very often, but when that man wrestles,
he
gives you classics. And the thing that literally because I was like doing some other things while paying attention to the match clearly, but the thing that just made me just like, all right, I'm not doing anything else until this is over, was when Ospreay had MJF in the corner to do the Hurricane Rana off the buckle, and the way MJF landed on his feet.
I was like, he did the Ospreay to Ospreay.
I was like, this is great. This is so good.
That's like 50 minutes into the matchup.
Into the fucking match. Like, yo, the fact that they were pulling this shit off so fucking far into the match, like, there was, to a degree, there was no dull moment in this match. This match had no dull moments. And this was great, like, move for move, spot for spot. They had amazing chemistry. Like, oh my God. Like, these two, you would think that these motherfuckers had like 6 matches already together. It's their first one. It's their first one.
It is, yeah.
It's their first one. And they pulled that. Now, people can hate on the ending. This is an MJF match. This is an MJF match. And if you don't get that, you haven't paid attention to MJF in 5 years. This is an MJF match. So, yeah, to me, if it was anyone else, I would have slighted it. But this was MJF. To me, to beat Will Ospreay, this was the absolute what he needed to do to win the match. Because he wasn't beating Will Ospreay with wrestling moves.
And the cherry on top was him having oxygen, having an oxygen mask. And he
Right.
said,
Easy W.
Easy dub.
Easy W. Easy W. Easy W.
Well, he's clearly exhausted and don't like.
Clearly, he needs to get IV fluids in his system and get sat down at the local hospital. But he's like, easy. I was easy.
Easy dub. MJF it never changed. This is one of MJF's greatest performances in AEW.
Between I still go back and forth between that one and the Iron Man match with Danielson.
That's his best performance, but this is probably number 2.
Oh my God, like that was amazing. That was amazing. And then on top of that, like the fact that it took half the show. So you're starting the show off on a 10. Like the show is you're starting the show on a 10, and it didn't get dull after that. After that, which was very impressive by AEW. Like to have another banger potential, and you have Swerve and Okada. After that, like you got your money's worth if you were at that show. You got your fucking money.
And I knew we weren't going to get a finish to one of those matches. When they booked MJF and Ospreay and Okada and Swerve, I was like, one of these matches is not going to give us a finish. So, and once we got the finish for MJF and Ospreay, I was like, we're definitely not getting a finish for Okada and Swerve, which I didn't think they should. Neither one of those guys should be losing. So, I was okay.
I can't glaze enough on how good Mariah May looked. Oh my God.
Yeah, she looked amazing.
I was disappointed by the promo. I
I
felt
I didn't.
I know. I think the explanation was lacking. This felt like a misfire. They had a lot of momentum after last week's heel turn, which we put it into the conversation of one of the best women's wrestling storylines or angles of all time. Like to have that, and then I felt like there was a couple of misdirections that they did here. Like having her come out as Timeless Toni Storm, it made sense with like what the character had been building and what she had been doing with Toni to come out as Timeless Toni Storm and fully take her role as she's been trying to do. But it totally confused this Little Rock, Arkansas crowd, first of all. Then she tried to do Timeless Toni Storm's delivery, which it only works for Timeless Toni Storm. I don't think it worked for her. And then the crowd was not into it with the what chants, and they only got into it at the end when she talked about, Toni being at her feet bleeding was the best performance of her career. It's like the most she ever loved her was her bleeding by her feet. That was a good line, and that got a little bit of heat, but I thought the promo overall it was lacking.
You're not ruining it for me because of how just dazzling she looked, and then the very beginning of the promo. When Tony Schiavone was like, "Oh, bitch.
Oh man,
get on with it, bitch."
I'm literally gonna change change brands here on the fly because we have it here on the AE Ramble thing of this that I have to play.
Oh, speak, bitch. Come on now. Oh my God, Shivani. What the hell is wrong with you?
Fucking love that.
I didn't even know he. I didn't even know he said that.
When he said that.
I think Nick had posted it, and I was like, Nick Jackson was like, he posted that shit. I didn't even hear it because, of course, I was in out of sleep, whatever. So when he posted, I was like, no, Tony Schiavone didn't say that shit, and he really did say that shit.
Big bitch.
He said it with his chest. He said it with his teeth.
He said that shit.
Nikki Boy posted it, and I was like, no fucking way.
Yo, he said that shit like he was commentating on an MJF match.
Yo, for real.
Speak, bitch. Whoa.
They wasn't like, whoa, Shivani, whoa. That was fun. Like, I don't even think they knew that he was gonna say that shit, yo.
Yo, that was wild. That was the best part of the promo for me. Yes, Uncle Tony.
You're not ruining that for me. You're not ruining that shit. That shit was between the entrance and that intro. I was like, oh yeah, we're good here. Whatever she says, we're good from here on out.
But we got some news from AEW as they may be closing in on this media rights deal, as we got a encouraging sign this week. A streaming deal of some kind may be in the works for AEW as content from the company has started to show up on the Max streaming service internationally. Fans on social media have noted that AEW shows and pay-per-views, including the most recent pay-per-view, Forbidden Door, were starting to appear on the Max library. This only applies to outside the United States and Canada for now, but it remains to be seen if that changes. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio this week says that AEW is closing in on the deal on the Wrestling Observer newsletter. He also provided an update that they seem to be coming closer to making the deal official, and it will be announced very, very soon, either the end of this month or beginning of August, whether or not AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery will make the deal. But that's an encouraging sign that it's on internationally. If you got a VPN, NordVPN, ExpressVPN, you can start watching AEW shows on Max like now. If you want, get a VPN. Hey, I think it's good news. Yeah, it's in France, but you can get a VPN. A VPN, you change your location to France, and then you just pop on Max service, and it's in France, and you have AEW.
Okay.
From Brooklyn.
Yeah, from Brooklyn. From where you are in Brooklyn. You can just change it. Hey, from where I am in the UK, I have a VPN and I change it to the United States if I need to watch Power early or something like that. I just do that now. Okay. I got a VPN just for that. But other AEW news, another big news note from AEW this week, Sean Ross Sapp reports that AEW is planning a major stadium show for next year. The report notes that AEW is planning on another show in the Dallas, Arlington, Fort Worth area, in addition to its multi-week residency for ROH and AEW Collision that starts tonight. Several people in the Dallas, Arlington area have said that the promotion is planning to bring a major scale event to the area next year. Several sources tease that it could be a stadium show to be on par with AEW's biggest event, which of course is All In at Wembley Stadium. The report added that officials in the area could make an announcement about the show by the end of 2024. No further details were provided. However, Tony Khan, during a recent interview with comicbook.com, the AEW president discussed the recent rumor of AEW planning a stadium show in the Dallas, Arlington, Fort Worth area. Khan appeared to deny the story, noting that it's something that not something that AEW is looking to do anytime here in the immediate future. He says it's not something that we are looking to do anytime here in the immediate future, but it's an exciting idea and something that I think we absolutely could do and something that would be very interesting. Meaning, I don't have anything official yet, so I can't say shit.
Yep. Pretty much.
That's what I took that as. I'm a big bullshit detector, so I can just distinguish that that's what he meant. That's what he meant. Because Sean Ross Sapp don't report shady shit.
Because he wants to save it for a big announcement on AEW Dynamite. Tony Khan.
That's what Tony Khan loves announcements. He loves to do that stuff. He gets a heart off of that.
Yeah. We got Power Track Finish that says, I was bummed. I'm from Texas and they're doing a whole month in Arlington. What the fuck, AEW? But I get for that venue, I guess. Yeah, it's only 1,000 people in the venue that they're for a month for AEW Collision in Arlington. It's a good deal. They get a certain amount of money from the city and they have a residence.
Yeah.
I'm saying, damn, AEW really gonna make me go to fucking Dallas?
Well, yeah. I mean, how far is the drive?
Just so you know, it sounds like your headset is underwater.
Who, man?
Now it's better.
It's better now. It just sounded like you was underwater for like a minute or so.
Oh, okay. My bad. I don't know.
No
I don't know what happened. It might be because I was stepping on my wire, though. That's probably my fault.
Oh, yeah. That would help.
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably it. Speaking of bullshit detectors, Cody Rhodes had a recent interview where he discussed his exit from AEW and coming to WWE. Rhodes has been mostly largely positive about his time in AEW, but while also noting that returning to WWE to finish the story was something he wanted to do. He expanded on that a bit in a recent interview with Chris Van Vliet on Insight. He said, I also knew I was leaving. I knew it was a season in my career. I knew this wasn't going to last and there's something greater for me out there. I know that might sound negative to people, but it's not. The WWE title is the biggest prize in the wrestling game. You put on boots, and that's the one. I just wanted to go get it, and I have nothing but respect for my time there. I got to sharpen my skills like Hulkamania in the AWA before he came to WWE. It's the same. The energy was there, the Renaissance was happening. It wasn't just company-based, but it was all there, and I just have a love for it because I got to sharpen my skills. By the time I got to WrestleMania and WWE, I felt like, okay, I've come back a complete package. I'm in command of this is how the music goes. I'm in command of who the American Nightmare is. I can know that and understand it better than a writer or producer, and thankfully we have all those things. But yeah, nothing but love. On his character in AEW, he says, I don't know if I consider it the high road. Maybe it is. How could I not, though? Not right? My run in AEW was terrible, really. People are going to write books later on, and these stories are going to get out there, and then it's going to be a whole new ball game. But the actual experience and everything we did, you ever seen the end of The Dark Knight? I think it's super convoluted, and I'm not comparing myself to Batman, but there's a piece of it that's really important. To certain fans from the AEW fandom, they need the story to be that they didn't want me. They pushed me out. They need he was bad. They need that story. They need me to be the villain. I was always fine with accepting that because of the respect I have for it in the first place, how difficult it was to do the original All In, how unbelievable the feeling was to do Double or Nothing, how fortunate we were that Tony wanted to invest in this vision, and he has a vision as well. How special Matt and Nick and the BTE era and Kenny and my rivalry in New Japan, especially from a dollars and cents point that made New Japan more money than they ever did. It made Ring of Honor go through the roof at the time. So regardless of any petty squabbles, I will always have a love for it. I got to wrestle Brody Lee's final match. I got to lead young people behind the scenes. I'll always have a love for it. So I'm sure there's some negative stuff, but I just remember the love. I just remember it lovingly. He did also remark on the Young Bucks saying that he was the last to sign with AEW, and he said that he took offense to that in their book when they said that because he was one of the first people to meet with Tony Khan. So, I mean, I'm not saying Cody is bullshitting. I think a lot of this was the truth and how he really feels, but it's just like, will y'all stop asking Cody about AEW already?
Right. Like, why do we... And I wish he would stop answering them about it, too. Like, put that in your...
No, you can't not answer. If someone asks you, you got to answer, but I just wish they would stop asking.
No, but I'm saying, like, you have, like, a list of things that you don't really want to talk about. I'm, like, just say I don't want to, like, I can ask a question like, oh, I wish them all the best of luck. Like, don't ask me about when I left there or why I left there. Like, it's been, like, how long now? over it.
It's been like 2.5 years now.
Yeah, like get over it.
I didn't make that face because of what you're saying, Krssi. I'll tell you why. I made that face.
Yeah.
But,
Oh yeah. You probably that's probably during my little oh shit comment during your diatribe there.
Oh, the 20. Oh yeah, I seen it up there. I just didn't. I saw that. I didn't say any. Yeah.
All right.
SP.
I mean,
I'm gonna get this out the way before
First
we
of all,
continue.
Chuck Berry's. First of all, that's technically it's really not $20, but whatever. You still owe us.
It is $20.
in
It is a $20
YouTube term. It is.
Yes. All right. Chuck Berry's. You did it. You did it to me.
Just know, Chuck Berry's. You might be an accessory to murder. You might be an accessory.
I can't even look. I don't even want to look.
This shit has molded together.
That shit is
cool. I don't even want to look at it. Ew. No, I can't even look.
This is like Jackass and the challenge. I'm gonna put myself on the big screen here because Chuck Berry sent a $20 super chat donation, and he says, "Hey, y'all dared me, so here you go, $20." So y'all see the proof.
It's like a table spot with spikes and lava.
Is it over?
Oh God! Oh God!
Oh yuck! Oh.
I feel like I just drank I just took a sip of tomato juice. It's just the ketchup is the main ingredient. It's like the main ingredient. Like that's all I taste.
Y'all let her make stuff like that all day, and she just makes y'all drink.
No, not all day. Not all day. Thank you for the super chat donation. Thank you.
That's bad. Oh, poor SP.
Yeah, the next one's gonna have to be like $50 for me to take another sip of that.
You're gonna have to go to the toilet in a minute. I promise you.
It's only a sip. It's only a sip. I didn't say like a gulp.
Nigga, you need some water to wash that shit down.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, tell him
the taste of tomato
sitting on your taste bud right now.
Yeah, it's right at the back of your. Oh.
I don't know if I'm gonna be. I think we're having fish and chips. I don't know if I'm gonna have to. I don't know if I'm gonna taste ketchup the same. But this is how you can tell. I could be on the challenge, folks. I could be on the challenge.
Someone bring that man some water.
All right. Moving on to AEW Collision and Rampage. Last Saturday's AEW Collision. You had on that show the Undisputed Kingdom defeating Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly in a good main event contest. Thanks to interference from Trent Beretta, helping the Undisputed Kingdom pick up the victory. Post match.
Machine Gun, Motor City Machine. Yeah, those people got that guy. Sorry.
I don't even want to say
post
right there, but you know.
Post match, OC took it to another level as he took out Trent Beretta with a wrench to the back of the head. Apparently, Trent Beretta has been injured for a number of months, so this was his official write-off. Thanks to OC taking him out in a similar fashion that took out Chucky T. You also had Konosuke Takeshita beat Tommy Billington in a fun opener. Post-match, you had Don Callis offered the Tommy Billington. Tommy Billington is the nephew of the Dynamite Kid. So post-match, Don Callis offered the new Dynamite Kid a spot in his family, which he turned down. That led to Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher jumping Billington, who was saved by the returning FTR, who will have their return promo on tonight's Collision. And in one of the most baffling decisions this year from AEW, because they've done a couple of baffling decisions, the Bang Bang Gang got a squash win. Post-match, the Bang Bang Gang announced that Juice Robinson was officially replacing an injured Jay White as 1/3 of the Trios champions, only for the worst authority figure in professional wrestling today, yes, even worse than Adam Pearce, Christopher Daniels, who stripped them of the titles because Jay White is out. This is the same company that had MJF as Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion for 3 months last year while his partner was injured. Makes no sense at all. The patriarchy came out to get the titles handed to them, only for Daniels to make a match between both trios to determine new champions on this Saturday, tonight's Collision AEW Rampage. The show featured the conglomeration of Orange Cassidy, Tomohiro Ishii, and Kyle O'Reilly defeating Undisputed Kingdom in a good opener. Post-match, you had Don Callis come out to distract Orange Cassidy while Kyle Fletcher jumped him from behind. Mark Briscoe made the save, only to be floored by Roderick Strong ahead of their Ring of Honor world title matchup coming up at Death Before Dishonor. This led to a conglomeration promo backstage where Mark Briscoe officially made Ishii a part of the group. You also had the Learning Tree. They picked up a victory over the Outrunners, which was pretty much Big Bill dominating, and then Chris Jericho winning with a foot on the chest. He finally won a match with the Come On Baby. So that was history in the making. Minoru Suzuki then defeated Butcher to set up his matchup with Chris Jericho on Wednesday's Dynamite. And finally, you had the Lucha Bros. They pick up a win over Private Party in a solid main event matchup. And quickly in AEW remaining news, we had big news as regards to last night at the CMLL event. It was revealed that MJF will defend the AEW International Championship and CMLL in Mexico. God, I can only imagine if they give him a live mic, what he will say to those Mexican fans, as he will be on the August 2nd event from CMLL at Arena, Mexico. Also, speaking of, he's 1/4 of the pillars of AEW. One of the pillars are set to make their return as Sammy Guevara, who has been away from AEW since February, has reportedly been discussed for a return to AEW TV. He was suspended after a protocol issue during his matchup with Jeff Hardy and hasn't been seen on TV since. Fightful Select reports that his return to TV has been talked about over the last few weeks, and Guevara's suspension has been over a couple of months at this time, and he simply it's actually been over for a couple of months, but he hasn't been used on TV. He was last seen on the February 24th Collision episode, where he had a very highly praised no DQ matchup against Powerhouse Hobbs. Speaking of people that might be sticking around AEW for a little while longer, Dustin Rhodes was in the news this week as he gave an update on his contract status and promised that he is not done in professional wrestling. Dustin looked through social media and confirmed that his contract is up in September, but shot down the notion that he was expected to leave AEW. He said, and I quote, "Wrong. Geez, guys, do better. Yes, my contract is up in September, and no, I am absolutely not done. Having the best matches of my life, and hopefully, God willing, I will get to retire on my own terms. Hopefully negotiations go well because I am damn worth the world. The only things that matter to me are taking care of my family first and foremost and finishing up when I am ready and how I envision my retirement. So hold off, guys. This biz is my life and I love doing it for you while still having fun and able. Hashtag keep stepping, and thank all of you for your continued love and support." I'm gonna go to JJ because he had a very strong reaction to the Dustin Rhodes news.
That whole news bit was a fucking mess.
Yeah.
Except MJF CMLL. Like, looking at the pictures in the Collision matches and they're like, what the fuck was that? Like, that looked like a fucking mess everywhere. Like, that was disgusting compared to what you would have seen on AEW Dynamite. Like, what is that what they normally do on Collision? Because that was atrocious.
Well, this was the taped episode of Collision, which is always the worst episode of Collision.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, that was terrible. And
The Bang Bang gang being stripped of the AEW Trios Championships might be the worst decision I've seen from AEW in a very
why would they do that?
Even worse than showing the tape
from a guy because they replaced an injured partner with someone that's in their group.
Right.
Like none of it made any sense. And then you capped it off with news no one cares about. Like, who cares about the Dustin Rhodes shit? Like, what the fuck? Like no one, disrespectfully, no one cares about your story, bruh. Like, you have been jobbing to people for the past 4 years. 4 fucking years you've been jobbing to people. And I want to hear about your fucking story in your terms? Who cares? Nobody in this chat gives a fuck. I know that. Good Lord, that was rough. That was rough. That was really rough. That was and then that followed the Jinder shit. Oh my God. SP is just tortured. He just tortured me for this last 30 minutes.
Hey, this is what I'm all about. I get the news that I know is going to have the strongest reactions from JJ. So I knew which ones.
Yo, that was just a clusterfuck of mess.
Sammy Guevara? Not Sammy Guevara returned?
No, about fucking like yo, he almost killed Jeff Hardy. like, who gives a fuck if he's coming back?
I think I've ranted enough about Christopher Daniels being a horrible general manager or whatever his title is. I don't even fucking care. It's just really, really fucking bad. But final news bit before we finish off with ROH in the Converse. Hey, is Ric Flair good to you? Because he was talking about his time in AEW. He did an interview with Busted Open Radio this week, where he stated that he hadn't heard from AEW since they turned down an idea that he had for Sting's retirement at Revolution. Of course, we reported last week that AEW's deal with his energy drink, Woo Energy, is now over, which has impacted his status in the company, as the drink had been paying for Flair to appear on AEW television. And he said, and I quote, "I gave them a finish to the match. They looked at me like I had 7 different things. I don't think Tony knew that I was on blood thinners. I've been doing all that shit for all these years. I've had that blood clot since 2012. Tony, if he asks me once, he asks me 10 times. Do not cut yourself." What I wanted to do, I wanted those guys to have the same match, but at the end, instead of leaving my laying there like that, just keep me on the outside the whole time. At the end, as Sting is standing there and those guys are gone, I jump on Sting, boom, boom. He does one big move to me, puts the Scorpion Deathlock on me, and we go out the same way we started 31 years ago. It would have blown the roof off that joint. No, it wouldn't have. And it would have made me a heel, so I had somewhere to go.
I wish I could see JJ's face right now. It's so sad.
It's hard to get the people to get mad at me now, said Flair. He added with a laugh, "I haven't heard back from them since. Rick, that's a great idea. We'll call you later on."
Rick Flair needs to go. And I think we love Ric Flair so much that we just let foolishness slide, but this shit right here, we can't let slide, unfortunately. Pops, go sit down. It's okay.
He just always wants a spotlight.
He does. He always has to pull it from someone else. It was Sting's night, not yours, boo. Go sit down.
Exactly.
It was Sting's night, baby.
SP, can you stop, please?
No, it's like get the best reaction from you.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck? We went from fucking Minder to fucking an AEW mess to nursing home
the
updates.
national jobber of him over at AEW.
And then we go to nursing home updates. like this shit is off the rails right now. This shit has gone completely off the rails.
So let's just finish things off
on Tru Heel Heat.
Before we get it over to Japan for New Japan coverage, we'll finish off the converse with AEW secondary partner ROH TV. ROH on Honor Club this week. The show featured Diamante defeating Layla Hirsch in a really good lights out main event match. Layla Hirsch busting out a moonsault. They finished off with a avalanche code red through a table. Really good matchup between those ladies.
Wow.
It was the night of women's wrestling, as usual with Ring of Honor, as Queen Aminata and Red Velvet picked up individual squash wins to gear up for their ROH Women's World and Women's TV title matches coming up at Death Before. Yeah, absolutely. At Death Before Dishonor, you also had Lance Archer and the Righteous. They beat Dalton Castle and Outrunners in trios action, while Athena spoke about her injury, quote unquote injury, before gifting Aminata and Red some time next week to speak with Lexi Nair of MIT ahead of their matches at Death Before Dishonor. Fightful Select also reported this week that there will be more care and consistent creative for Ring of Honor as they're going to do isolated tapings during AEW's residency in Arlington, Texas. And they picked up another free agent to the ROH brand, along with MXM, who was recently announced as an ROH-specific signing. Rachel Ellering, who has appeared on AEW and ROH, according to a new report, has officially signed with the promotion. She has been on ROH TV for the past year, but has been signed to the company for quote-unquote quite some time. No word exactly on how long she has signed for. She did not get the all-elite graphic, though that does not mean that every signing gets that. Ellering competed on last week's edition of AEW Rampage, taking on Thunder Rosa, and has worked 17 matches for ROH since June of that year. So good signing there. They got some consistent creative coming to Ring of Honor, so I'm hopeful for the best. But we're going to move on over to Japan. But first, what happened?
Paul, I can't. I feel like it's like literally like Paul is.
Oh, yeah.
Like an identical twin with hair.
It is, though.
Like, oh my God.
It's Paul with hair.
Every feature from her dad. Like, everyone.
I love that. I love that. But let's move on over to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Last Saturday, they had their Fantastica Mania CMLL co-promotional event in the USA in San Jose. The show featured the main event saw Mystico and Doki beating Rocky Romero and Vladimir Jr. in a solid main event. Post-match, Mystico challenged Doki for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. You also had Gabe Kidd defeated Ultimo Guerrero in a fun brawl to retain the NJPW Strong Openweight Championship. Post-match, Gabe challenged Leo Rush for Capital Collision in August for the title. You also had Yota Tsuji defeated El Barrio Canaro in a great hoss fight between those big individuals. You also had a Techers tag team matchup as Hechicero and Briosis beat TMDK's Bad Dude Tito and Zack Sabre Jr. in a great tag team bout, while Willow Nightingale made some more history as she defeated Lavia and Viva Band to become the new CMLL World Women's Champion. This now means Willow Nightingale has won championship gold in AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and CMLL. She is checking all the boxes. One of the best women's wrestlers in the world right there. Clap it up. And then you had this morning, our favorite time of the year, especially Miss Krssi Love. The G1 Climax 34 tournament begun. We had the main event that saw Shingo Takagi defeating Tetsuya Naito in a good main event matchup. Shingo pinning the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. You had our young guns in the tournament, Bolton Oleg, who beat Ren Narita with new gear too, while Colin Newman came out in his Will Ospreay influence gear as he defeated Shota Umino in an upset for the two youngsters to get their first wins in the G1 tournament. You had Hanare beat El Phantasmo in a good bout as El Phantasmo is dealing with depression since Hikuleo and the rest of the Tongans have left him behind in WWE. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Great Okan in a good matchup as well that had a nice little fun brawling section, as well as some techers, of course, from ZSJ. In an upset win, you had Yuya Uemura defeating the IWGP Global Heavyweight Champion David Finlay in a really good matchup, while Jake Lee, in an even bigger upset, defeated former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Sanada in under 5 minutes. He squashed him. I was like, damn. In one of this man's best matches in years, Evil had a good match on the show. Yes, I know. I'm amazed too. Evil had a good match as he beat Gabe Kidd, who the crowd, man, Gabe Kidd is an awesome heel, but this crowd in Osaka wanted to cheer him as the babyface against Evil, which for obvious reasons. But the match of the tournament so far after one day is Konosuke Takeshita defeating Yota Tsuji, representing AEW well in a tremendous encounter that was the best match on the show. Go out of your way to see that one. These are two young stars from Japan who really delivered. Yeah, Konosuke Takeshita, from AEW. Representing AEW very well here, picking up the win in his first ever G1 tournament matchup. So some really good stuff from the G1. Like I said, you should watch the whole show. The whole show was really good. Go out of your way to watch Takeshita versus Tsuji. Those are two big men that should not be doing the things they did. They did a Spanish fly off the top ropes where they almost botched it like twice because those niggas are too big to be on the top rope together. It was crazy.
Heavy.
Too heavy, too tall. I think both of them are above like 6'2", so they're too tall to be doing that shit. It was very much a fun, very fun show. We got Bala B who says New Japan is restoring the feeling. I agree. We also got Tony KK who says I've just resubscribed to your channel. Well, thank you.
Nice.
Welcome back.
Go. There you
Welcome
go.
back.
That.
Appreciate the support.
You know,
we got Power Driver. What? You think I drew some people away?
This fucking guy, yo. Why do you want to hear about the nursing home?
Power Driver Finisher says Willow is my personal favorite top female wrestler. I can agree there. And we got another super chat donation from our main man, Chuck Berries. He didn't send a $20 one because he wants me to get the taste of tomato and milk out of my
Did anyone get any water?
No one got me water. So
no glasses have appeared.
I'll live. Chuck Berry said with Willow Nightingale. Don't say his name. He may appear. With Willow Nightingale winning the CMLL Women's title, will this bring more notoriety to their promotion despite losing Stephanie? I meant bring. I mean, maybe. I did like them throwing shade. They threw shade at Stephanie Vicaire on today's G1 show, as well as Willow in her promo saying, "Where's Stephanie? Who cares? I'm the champion now."
Yeah, typical.
Hey, I mean, you back out a title match like 3 days before the show. You gotta expect that people gonna throw you some shade.
Yeah, it's atypical.
True, very true.
Yeah, I ain't mad at her, but I think she should expect some shade. So, we got Vala B who's calling me out. Says, "Calm down. The evil match still had a fuck finish from Dick Togo, but it was just at the end instead of the whole last match."
Yo. The shit that these wrestlers make you say and type is fucking magical. Like you're not even saying that in dialogue and talking. It should just make you just spat shit out of your fucking system.
Still had a fuck finish. But New Japan news very quickly before we get into TNA to close out what we missed and finish up this show. You had Shoto Amino, who was, as I said, he's in the G1 Climax 34 tournament, but he announced this week ahead of the tournament that he has been medically cleared. He is good to go and will be able to compete in the G1 tournament. He had made the announcement via New Japan Pro Wrestling social media. Meanwhile, he's actually recovered and suffered a fractured hip and L4-5 disc injury in a matchup against Rocky Romero on AEW Rampage before being medically cleared for the tournament. And if you saw our preview, that's my pick to win the tournament. He had you all gassed. Y'all didn't even think he was going to be in the tournament. He's winning. But everybody else's pick to win the G1 tournament. Zack Sabre Jr. had some comments this week about his goal in the NJPW. He said that on wanting to win the G1, it is one of the main things missing from my career. I've won the New Japan Cup twice. I've had strong showings, but this is my 8th G1. With the changes we've had, it's easy to say that it has to be me leading New Japan. But especially this year, even though the G1 is on an incredible achievement in itself, it means even more this year. On leading New Japan, he says, I don't think it does have to be me. I think we have a roster full of very talented options, but I am the best out of those options to lead. I don't think anyone can keep up with the pressure like I can. I've wrestled for 20 years now, never had an injury. I represent the past, present, and future of New Japan better than anyone else. So yeah, I would consider my career so far a failure if I don't win it this year. Uh-oh, you gotta run it.
My nigga, you better knock on some wood when you fucking say that shit.
See, just hit me with the door.
What happened?
You want me to kiss it?
Aww.
You feel better? You feel better? Can I get a kiss? Kissy on the cheek? No, she's like, no, you kiss the hand. I feel better now. She stopped crying. So there you go. There you have it.
There you go. That's that daddy magic.
Even though we've gone through the opening night of the G1, I want to get y'all guys' predictions. My prediction is Shota Umino winning the G1, even though Zack Sabre Jr., man, he makes a great claim to win this year's tournament. Who do y'all think is going to win the G1 this year? Krssi?
I hope it's Zack Sabre Jr. He should win it.
Everybody on our panel,
Zack
we did a
never won it. Zack Sabre's never won it before, right?
No.
A British wrestler has never won the G1.
Oh,
not even Will Ospreay.
Let's make some history, man. This is the year for history. Let's make some history.
So you guys are against me too. Oh, all right. Thanks, guys. We got
Tru Heel Heat for a reason, brother. I ain't with you anymore for at least the next like 20 minutes because your ass tortured me for 45.
You got. What did you have on your eye? Did you have an eye patch? Was that an eye patch?
Yeah.
She put this is a piece of paper over her eye and said it was an eye patch.
I love it.
I thought you was gonna put that in the cup. I thought
it won't stay on. I took a sip of the drink. What did you call the drink again? What's the name of the drink?
Egg.
Death. Egg death.
Egg.
Egg.
That's it. Just egg.
So you're gonna chill right here.
Drink should
Right.
It should be called evil.
She said she's gonna chill right here. Hopefully she doesn't cut my mic off by sitting on the wire, which I think she is. But finally, for what we missed, you have TNA Impact from Thursday. The show was the go-home show ahead of tonight's Slammiversary pay-per-view, which featured the contract signing for the Slammiversary main event, as you had AJ Francis interrupting only for PCO to come out and brawl with the digital media champion. This brawl closed, though, with Joe Hendry getting the last laugh, putting Moose through a table to... That's talking about Joe Hendry. Yes, wrestling. Got Joe Hendry putting Moose through a table to stand tall. You also had Speedball Mike Bailey. He ran through a Mustafa Ali gauntlet to get a measure of revenge on the man who took out his best friend Trent Seven. But Ali got the final laugh by attacking Speedball from behind with a nightstick and getting a 1-2-3 visual victory over him. Mike Santana got a measure of revenge of his own, losing by disqualification to JDC by using a steel chair and battering him with it. Before that, JDC was involved in taking out Jeff Hardy during the system. All right, just get up and then go get your mommy.
Don't be harassing.
She's struggling. She's struggling to get up right now. Okay. All right. There you go.
Angry about Jeff Hardy news.
I guess. Yeah. She's like, Jeff Hardy's out? I'm out of here. Jeff Hardy was taken out on a stretcher after an attack by JDC, wrapping a chair around his neck, injuring him ahead of Slammiversary. JDC also did some wife beating as he attacked Rebby Hardy from behind to set up Dango versus Broken Matt at the pay-per-view tonight. And in Impact news, Joe Hendry is apparently sticking around in TNA for a little while longer. He said that he still has a while left on his TNA contract. Hendry has been making appearances on NXT as of late, and he said on Talk is Jericho that he has quite a while left. He says, but because of the working relationship, he feels anything is possible, and he's very thankful to Impact and to TNA's management for supporting him so much. So we shall see. We shall see how long is a while left.
Yep.
We'll see. That's all I'll say. We'll see about that. But we've made it to Krssi Love's favorite time of the show, match of the week and worst and best of the week. So this is the time of the week where we give you our best matches from the past 7 days since last Saturday until now, as well as who had the best week and who had the worst week this week. I'll start off with best of the week. I'm going to give it to MJF. MJF proving the naysayers wrong, putting on an instant classic with Will Ospreay and winning the International Championship. And I think that Will Ospreay is the best wrestler in the world today. But in that matchup on Wednesday, I think MJF outperformed Will Ospreay. So that's why he's the best of the week.
Okay.
JJ.
Yeah, I mean, especially pulling off a fucking hour-long match, and in the fashion that he did it, yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna go with MJF because it's almost underselling how good Will Ospreay was in that match, because it's almost like it's to be not expected, but it's like, you know, that's what you get out of a Will Ospreay because he is the best. But for MJF to again stay up to another person's wrestling style and level, because he's done this with multiple wrestlers now, kind of matched himself to their style. Yeah, MJF is definitely the best of the week, best of the month.
Yeah,
the month, not the month.
Krssi, what about you?
I have to say, yeah, I have to agree with you guys and give it to MJF. He deserves it this week. He put on a show. And like you said, he doesn't wrestle often, but when he does wrestle, he understands his assignment and he does what needs to be done. And
it was easy.
And my worst of the week is by far Christopher Daniels. In a week where Adam Pearce pissed me off so much with that.
Oh no, I was talking about Adam Pearce. Yeah,
but Christopher Daniels is worse for stripping the Bang Bang Gang.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Only to put them back into a matchup for the Trios Championships on tonight's show.
Yeah, that's dumb. Yeah, Christopher Danielson has to win. Yeah.
All right, so Krssi got Christopher Daniels as well. JJ.
It was a tie between him and
Adam Pearce. Fuck him.
It was a tie between both of them. They both deserve it. Nah, fuck that. They both deserve it.
Adam Pearce.
Terrible GMs. No, yeah, they need to be fired.
Fucking trying to make somebody apologize for fucking getting fucking screwed over like a fucking million times. And fuck him.
All right, and then match of the week, I'm going to keep it simple this week. I'll only give you 3. I'll give you 3 this week. Number 3 for me, I'll go with this morning's NJPW G1 Climax 34 tournament matchup with Konosuke Takeshita and Yota Tsuji. Any other week, that would probably be number 1. Number 2 for me is from last Saturday's Noah event, AJ Styles versus Naramichi Marufuji. Both of those guys rang the clock back with that matchup. AJ is at top form right now between the Cody matches and that one. He's putting on instant classic, and that was a great AJ Styles in Japan style matchup. If you saw him in New Japan, you know what I'm talking about. And number 1 this week, obviously, we've talked about it enough on this episode. It's MJF versus Will Ospreay from Dynamite 250. Krssi?
I didn't see much wrestling or don't remember a lot. So the only thing I do remember is the main and only important thing that happened this week was MJF and Will Ospreay. Sorry.
Don't blame you. No, fair. JJ, what about you?
I need to see that AJ Styles match. I really need to see that. I need to figure out how to get access to that match because
I got you.
Because I need to see that because anytime any AJ Styles match, Japan style, I need to see it.
I got you.
But since I basically stuck. I saw the main shows, so my shows are going to be from the main shows. 3, I would have. I like the Obafemi and Duke Hutchison match. That was pretty good on NXT.
Duke Hudson.
Yeah. Duke Hutchison, whatever the fuck his name is. The dude
like you added letters.
Yeah. The dude can chase you.
Him, yes.
But that was a nice horse fight. That was big meaty men slapping meat. I am appreciative of the teaser that we got of Swerve and Okada. I'm appreciative of the teaser, the sample size tease that we got there. So even though it was a few minutes, I thoroughly enjoyed that shit. That was like, damn, I can't wait to get an actual full match of those two. And I mean, we not even have to talk about number one. I mean, number one, we spent like 30 minutes on it. So MJF and Ospreay and MJF's easiest victory of his career.
Easy dub. All right, so we're gonna close out this show with final predictions for Slammiversary, TNA Slammiversary tonight. Before we get into any of the matches, they've been teasing a big surprise on the show. My prediction: we get an AJ Styles in physical form at Slammiversary. What do y'all think?
Oh, because they're doing the whole TNA thing now. We can go back and forth.
NXT, yeah.
What if we have like I like that idea. What if we have Wesley go over there?
Well, Wesley is on the show. He's already on the show.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind. See, I don't need. That's how much I know. See, whatever.
I got
whatever.
you.
Thanks.
Don't worry.
Okay. I tried.
JJ, any prediction for a big surprise for tonight?
I need to see AJ Styles one more time in TNA. That would.
Oh, yeah, because last year he only gave like a video package just so he can actually be there.
I need to see that.
Right.
I desperately need to see that AJ Styles in TNA one more time.
I want him to get a haircut so he can look like the old AJ Styles instead of Mom AJ Styles.
Hear that classic, hear that old theme song too.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready to fly.
Oh yeah, give me that one. Yeah. I would love that.
I need that in my life. But let's do the final predictions for the show. If you want a full preview, we did that yesterday with Cresta.
You said Miz.
We did a full preview yesterday here on the channel with Cresta the Star, so check that out as well. But our final predictions here, you got for the Knockouts tag team titles, it's going to be Militia, Masha Slamovich, and Alicia Edwards defending the Knockouts tag team titles against Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat. I think Spitfire get the victory and regain the Knockouts tag team titles. Krssi?
I think the champs retain.
JJ?
I'm not even going to cap. I have no idea who they are, so I'm going to agree with Krssi.
That's fair as well. Then we have a four-way knockouts matchup. It's going to be Tasha Steelz versus Fabi Apache from AAA versus Giselle Shaw versus Zaya Brookside. I'm going to go with Giselle Shaw.
Her name is what? She doesn't even look like her name is. Look like her name is Emily.
Krssi, who you got here?
No, what is? Okay, I'm sorry.
Emily.
I'm going with Giselle Shaw.
Right.
Zaya Brookside. She's talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I'm looking like okay.
Krssi,
sorry.
Who you got?
Emily.
The person next to Emily is Shaw.
JJ, who you got?
Tell
me her name. Okay.
I'm gonna go throwback. I'm gonna go Tasha Steelz.
I wouldn't be mad at Tasha Steelz winning though.
Yeah. Then you got these two have been feuding for a couple of months now. You got Jonathan Gresham going one-on-one with Kushida. This has been involving the black ink from the new character of Jonathan Gresham, as Krista Starr called them, Squidward. So who you got here, Kushida or Gresham? JJ.
Gresham Squidward?
Yes.
I can't. You know what?
I'll keep my consistent theme of Kushida not winning big matches, so I'm gonna go with Jonathan Gresham.
I'm gonna go with Kushida for the win here. Krssi, break the tie.
That's an L.
He couldn't even hold it in. He couldn't even hold it in until Krssi said her prediction.
I'm going with Gresham. Damn,
Okay,
that mask is flying.
Tell them how you really feel. And the aforementioned Wes Lee will be returning to TNA to reunite with the Rascalz, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, as they will face NXT's own no quarter catch crew, Charlie Dempsey, Tavian Heights, and Miles Bourne. Who do you got here, Miss Krssi Love?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just looking at the sexy Rascalz. This man that's in the front. Oh God. Yeah, the Rascalz is winning. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He looked like he should be on Power. Like he looked like he should have been on Lobo's team or whatever.
Krssi
like
still thirsted.
Yeah.
Even when sick.
Even when sick, still thirsted. I'm going with the Rascalz.
That
The reunited Rascalz.
Guys. You could be sick or impaired or whatever. That shit don't turn off.
She's been impaired.
Impaired, Jesus. JJ, who you got?
He said the Rascalz.
Then you got Mike Santana back in TNA. He's going one-on-one with Jake something. I'm going with Santana here. Who you got, Krssi?
I mean, Santana should be better when for making these moves and leaving his partner. So, yeah, Santana.
JJ, who you got?
Yeah, Jake something wins literally no matches. That's notable. Definitely.
Yeah, JJ is not holding back today.
No, he's not.
Jake something is literally there to put people over. So, yeah, Mike Santana is winning this match.
JJ's just going after all the losers. He's like, you never win. So
they're fucking losers.
Then you got Broken Matt Hardy. We'll try to get revenge on JDC for taking out Jeff Hardy, who everyone is aware. JDC took out Jeff Hardy because Jeff Hardy can't travel to Montreal, Quebec, Canada because of his DUIs. Just so that.
Okay.
But I got broken Matt. Who you got, Krssi?
Broken Matt Hardy. They are still going strong. Great job, guys.
JJ?
Yeah. Matt's gonna delete this bum.
What the fuck?
Get the fuck out of here. Nobody's fucking paying. Nobody's gonna believe Fandango winning matches.
For the TNA Digital Media Championship, our friend AJ Francis will defend against PCO.
What is happening?
PCO is, of course, from Montreal, Quebec, Canada, so he has the hometown advantage. But I'm going with my boy AJ Francis. He likes the death of Slim Shady, so I'm rooting for him. JJ, who you got?
I'm already sold.
AJ Francis better win. Like, why is PCO even winning? That's not even like, what are we doing right now?
Because PCO ain't winning. He's just there.
You don't think he's gonna win in his hometown?
No.
Hell no.
For the TNA World Tag Team Championships, the Systems, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers will defend against ABC. Krssi, who you got?
ABC, let's go.
JJ?
The dude, they call themselves the System, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll with this. Actually, no, Brian Myers is on this team. Fuck. You know what? Let's just let the System help Brian Myers.
Has done a lot since he's left WWE.
Let's go.
Yes.
He's like, you would have he's not the same person that was there that had got kids and everything. Yeah, he's a whole different person.
Proud of Brian Myers. The System.
I'm going with the System to win, and then Ace Austin turns on Chris Bay after the match.
No,
that's what I think.
Not the Bullet Club. No.
For this is by far
this is going to be a banger.
The match of the night. TNA X Division Championship. Mustafa Ali defends against Speedball Mike Bailey in his hometown of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Put the title on Speedball. JJ, who you got?
This is the hometown kid that's going to win. This is the hometown kid that's winning. My Speedball is taking the title from this Retribution fucking recreation bullshit.
Oh, come on. Don't do that to Ali.
Wow.
Don't do that to Ali. This man is just throwing shots at everybody. Everybody getting strained. Krssi, who you got?
I'm saying Mustafa retains.
Okay. That is fair as well. He's been like, that doesn't work for me, brother. He's been undefeated since leaving WWE. And then you got for the Knockouts World Championship, Jordynne Grace defends against Ash Elegance, the former Dana Brooke. I'm going with Jordynne Grace to retain here. Krssi?
Same.
JJ?
Dana Brooke ain't winning yet. Sorry.
Oh, God. Something is just not feeling right about this. Not feeling right about this. Something is telling me that they're gonna put a title on Dana Brooke.
You think so?
Something's telling me Ash is going to be the person that dethrones one of my absolute favorite women.
No way.
I love Jordynne Grace.
Annika said it's not ashy.
I'm reluctantly gonna go with Ash Brooke.
Oh, so we did get a change to a matchup. Apparently, Dion Jenkins says the match has been changed to Kushida versus Rich Swann. I know there's been a lot of people having travel issues, so I'm guessing Jonathan Gresham had a traveling issue. So Kushida versus Rich Swann. I'm going with Kushida still.
Yeah, Kushida. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
And then finally, we got the 6-way main event for the TNA World Championship. Elimination style matchup is going to be Moose defending the world title against former champions Josh Alexander, Steve Maclin, the man that's been in TNA the longest but never won the world title, Frankie Kazarian, the hot new signing that they had in January, Nick Nemeth, and the hottest star in TNA, Joe Hendry. Who do you got here, Krssi?
Ooh. This is hard. I'm saying Moose retains.
Moose retains.
Yeah.
JJ, who you got?
I agree with you, Krssi. This is tough.
This is hard. Like I don't even know. Like
I've already to me automatically excluded Steve Maclin, Kaz, and the Walking Weapon. It's between the three of them in the middle.
Yeah, Nick, Moose, and Henry. The other three not gonna get it.
Because it felt like Nick was gonna win it. When he first comes into TNA in January, I was like, yeah, they're gonna put the title on him. And then they didn't do it at Rebellion. So they could do it here. Joe Hendry, you gotta strike while the iron is hot. But Moose has been a good heel champion for them to build around, and they could keep it on him longer. So it could go anyway.
Something tells me the fact that TNA is getting the most notoriety that they've gotten in years, they're gonna strike while the iron is hot. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Okay, I'm not mad at that.
I am gonna stick a rare occasion. I'm gonna stick to my prediction from the preview, and I'm gonna say Moose retains and Joe Hendry. They try to recapture, keep him as hot as they can for Bound for Glory, since that's their WrestleMania, and he wins the title at Bound for Glory. In a one-on-one match. One-on-one.
Slammiversary is not their WrestleMania?
Slammiversary is like their anniversary event, not their WrestleMania. Their WrestleMania is Bound for Glory.
Yeah, it's like their SummerSlam, basically. Yeah.
Okay, so SummerSlam. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. So I think Moose wins, and then Joe Hendry wins the title at Bound for Glory.
That's tough. That's a tough match. That's a tough match to think about, because even Josh Alexander, like that's leaving him off. Like that's tough, because he could easily win. The only two that I was like, yeah, they ain't winning is Kaz and Maclin. I'm like, those two dudes are not winning at all.
Yeah, like Frantic World says, nobody believes Kaz is gonna win. No, nobody. But that brings us to a close on another edition of the Tru Heel Heat Flagship podcast. I had so much fun today, even drinking this. With you guys, it was great to have the OG trio back together again. And JJ, as always, we will see you again in August. But the floor is yours. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media, sir.
Instagram, you can find me at Tru Heel _Top Guy JJ. Until then, can't wait. August 10th, back on the show with the gang. Miss Josh's presence and his reactions, we would have probably had very similar reactions. Some of this shit that SP was putting us through for 40 minutes. But, listen, OG trio, can never go wrong with that. Love that. But yeah, till next time, can't wait to talk about more shit. And obviously, by the time I'm back, SummerSlam will be over. So be a good time to come back.
I'll talk back. About
you're coming back for the episode where we're going to talk about SummerSlam. So Perfect time. Miss Krssi Love, as always, great to have you back. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
Hi, friends. So you can follow me, Krssi Love _1. Join myself and Stephanie Hypes on bodyslam.net for Know Your Role on Friday. Sorry, we were both sick with COVID. So we are not available yesterday. And other than that, you can follow me on IG, which is on the screen. Twitter is Tru Heel Krssi Love. Follow me on some roundtables. SP and I will be doing more show reviews and whatnot. So catch us there. We've just been sick and scheduling time. But we apologize and we'll be back soon. Yes.
The machines are human.
Yeah, we're gonna do a 3-week-old Power episode 5 review, and also just an overall review of part 1 of season 4. We'll do that. Me and Krssi next week. We'll figure out a day where we can do that. Team up and do that.
Absolutely.
All right?
Yes.
But go over to the Tru Heel Heat Sports and Entertainment channel. I did a review of Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. That is up right now. I'll also be doing a review of Supercell, which is one of the best new Netflix shows.
Oh my
God. It's so good. It's so good.
JJ,
so
you have
good.
to watch it if you haven't watched
What
it.
is you said Supercell?
Supercell.
It's basically it's a 95% black cast, and it's based in London. And it's basically all these people that have parents that have sickle cell, and they develop superpowers off of the mutation of sickle cell, that's Supercell.
Correct.
Put that on my downloads for work.
Yeah,
and of course the villain is white people that don't want them to have superpowers. It's great. It makes all the sense in the world.
That sounds about right. Okay.
Yep. It's only 6 parts. So good.
Now see, Krssi, you told me you watched it. Now I gotta team up with you. I haven't done that review yet, so we'll figure out a time where we'll probably do back to back.
It's like
we'll do one take
of it.
Yes, that's what a lot of people have been telling me too. Yes, really enjoyed that. So gonna do a review of that on the channel. Me and Stat King gonna do a review of Clipped. I watched the Clipper series, Losing Time, as I like to call it. I will do that as well. So bad it was entertaining. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at SP3. You can follow me on Facebook.
Yes. Yeah,
it didn't really seem appealing to me. We could talk about it.
No. If you didn't watch it, you didn't miss anything. But it was so bad that I had to finish it.
Right, because you're so far into it. You're so deep into it. You have to finish it. Like that's how I be feeling about stupid shows too. I'm like, yo, I'm so far into it. Like I gotta see how this monstrosity ends. Like stupid.
You gotta confirm how bad it is.
Right.
Yes.
And then you want to beat yourself up if you wasted all your time watching this foolishness.
Exactly. I have to finish it. I'm also going to be doing a review of Cobra Kai season 6 part 1 with Josh on the channel as well. So we got a lot of great content coming up. Me and Krssi got to team up for the Bear when I finish all of that. I'm going to wait a couple of weeks because we got a couple of reviews we got to put on the channel. I have to continue watching. You can see me and Jimmy Macaram reaction and review.
Dragons too. We need to do House of Dragons.
I'm not into that. I didn't watch Game of Thrones, so I'm not into House of Dragons. You and JJ, maybe I could team up for that. We'll figure that out.
Okay.
Patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat, exclusive content, best place to support us when we are not here. But I will be back here on the channel probably tomorrow, hopefully, for a TNA Slammiversary review. We'll figure it out. I'll find someone who I can team up with. I'll also be on Fightful's main channel later on tonight to review AEW Collision. So I'll be watching Collision live, maybe Slammiversary on the side screen. So I need time to do all that and also work tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be very busy. But check out that. Hit the subscribe button for more. But until next time, for Miss Krssi, for Top Guy JJ, for all of you in the chat, because you are also our hosts here on the channel. We appreciate y'all. Appreciate the super chats. This has been Tru Heel Heat 286. Free Agents, Clearance, and Iron Man. We are signing off until next time.
Later.
Later, y'all.
Peace.